Hello everyone, if you can hear me, please say hag. And then you'll be insulting a lot of people that way. And I will know that you are able to hear me. It's hard to know. Twitch is weird sometimes, so I can never quite know. Gah, hag, okay, good. We have some backwards people in the chat today. Wah, alright. Let's see, today is day 19, I believe, of Final Fantasy IV translation comparisons. I call it that, but since I intend to do this again in a few years with other versions of FF4, I should probably come up with a better name for this specific set, I guess. But that's for another time. Alright, so today we're going to finally start the Golbez scene at the top of Tower of Zot. And then we're going to see Tellah defeat Golbez with Meteo. We're going to regain Kain. We're going to save Rosa. We're going to do a boss fight. Then we're going to get teleported back to Baron. After that, we'll probably take a quick peek around the world, see what's going on. Maybe there's some new things. But then most likely we'll end up going underground. And then that will start the whole next section of the game, where we have the underground dwarf kingdom. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of text in the underground dwarf kingdom place. But there's also the fun developer rooms. We might hit the developer room today, if we're lucky. All right, quite a bit to do, so let's get going with this intro stuff first. All right, I've been talking about this a bit the last couple of streams, when sometimes in the Japanese script, you'll get 3 lines, and each one has a quote, has quote marks kind of around it in Japanese. But we have been seeing how those will just get consolidated into one line stated by one unknown person. Sometimes they'll be given a speaker name when there shouldn't be a speaker name. Sometimes there's all kinds of weird things that happen. And this isn't an isolated incident. It happens in Final Fantasy VI. We're looking at right now a screenshot of my old Final Fantasy VI playthrough, where we looked at 3 translations plus the original. Actually 4 translations, and so we see at the beginning that in the Japanese line there are 3 lines denoted with a quote mark on each line, suggesting at least 2, possibly 3 people speaking. And then the English translation for Super NES, that became, it looks like just 1 line, is also attributed to soldier, which further cements that it's just all one person saying it. But it's actually supposed to be multiple people. Then we can see in the official GBA translation, it was also just marked as all 1 line, said by 1 person, 1 guard. Yet the fan translation gets it, and also the Google translation got it, separating the lines out like that. So this is something that I keep seeing as I look through these old video game translations. It's kind of just weird stuff. If this was had voice acting or something in it, maybe it would be clearer to the translators. I'm not sure, but this would have allowed more people to participate in the voice acting of it. You would have a crowd of people. You could hire multiple people rather than just 1, because multiple people were intended. All right, so let's just keep looking out for that. We're going to continue to see that. I don't know if that ever gets fixed, or if translators have figured out hey, we should probably do this properly in these modern days. I don't know. Let me know how it is in the modern translations of these games. All right, I was looking through some of my files and I noticed that I have this. I have an old Japanese magazine that I bought 15 years ago. This is from Dengeki Super Famicom, and we can see the cover on the front. And inside of it, well, this is from the mid 1990s, maybe before 6, I'm not sure. Anyway, so this issue has a bunch of FF4 tips. I thought I would show how Japanese magazines were sharing their tricks over there. In America, we had Nintendo Power, and then if you're lucky, maybe you had EGM or GamePro to share that kind of stuff. But here's how it was happening in Japan. I have to make it kind of big, but this first one that we're looking at, this first tip is basically the item duplication trick that you can do in battle. I did it before a couple times on stream. It kind of shows how to do it differently than what I'm familiar with, so maybe I'll try this one someday. And it suggests doing it to get a lot of money early on in the game. And that's exactly what I did. And it points it out. It has like screenshots and arrows and descriptions. And it's telling you like, oh, you're actually getting 255 of an item. And kind of good info there. The next, on the same page is also tells you about like sort of the lesser known items. There's like a couple lesser known there's items that you can't buy anywhere. So this is like the fire bombs that you can get from the red dragons. You can get the Artemis bow from the moon goddesses, and you can get the glass mask from those phases, and you can get the flying dragon spear from something. So that's just another kind of tip that they were sharing. Also on this page, they show a trick that we're probably going to do today, where you can get the dark crystal from the underground dwarf kingdom. You can actually get it, and then you can skip like whole sections of the game just by doing this glitch. I'll probably show that off, and I'll have to do a save state, and then I'll probably have to like refix my save state scores or my scoreboard. But now that I know that ahead of time, it's not as bad. There's a tip here for the Sylph Cave, and it says if you just put on the ruby ring, you'll be okay from those stinky breath monsters that can do like a million status effects on you. Apparently, just doing the ruby ring will protect you from everything. That's kind of cool to know when we finally end up going there. Let's see what else. Yeah, okay. There's also a section here about how once you become a paladin, you can automatically level yourself up somehow. Just like take yourself back to some weak dungeon and like tape the controller and the A button or something, and then have a second controller pressing the opposite direction. Then you can just go back and forth and it'll automatically fight and level up for you. And it says if you do it for a day, you'll get pretty good levels. And also it says that the guy who wrote this article, he did it for 4 days and he got really leveled up, but it also cost him, his energy bill went up that month. So he sacrificed his energy bill for the sake of Final Fantasy IV info for us. There's also something that we just did last night or yesterday. This middle tip. It's saying unequip party members before they leave, and then you can just reuse it or you can sell it. And that's because when you get them back, if you do get them back, they have other equipment already anyway. So there's nothing lost that way. It also says this third tip here on the screen right now also lists use the item duplication trick to just get a lot of like swords and stuff and just throwable items. So you can use edge to throw those instead of just like buying ninja stars and stuff. Just get a whole bunch of weapons. All right, one last tip. Oh, actually two. One, this top one says the reason why you want to steal alarms, and it explains that if you use the alarm item, which was dummied out from FF2 US, if you get the alarm items and you go to this final dungeon spot, the spot in the final dungeon, you can get this rare encounter, and well, maybe it's not a rare encounter, but you can make it happen on demand, and then you can use it to like farm the pink puff tail or pink tail or whatever. And it says if you want to get the alarms, just steal them from the certain enemies, the searchers in the Tower of Babel. All right, so this is kind of like I remember when I was living in America, and all this stuff came to me through like second or third hand sources, like through really weird old FAQs from AOL people would print out for me. But here it's just right here in this big old magazine. All right, then this last tip says you can use the those chests that have monsters in them. They give you an item at the end, and so if you use that menu at the end that pops up, you can do some like tricks with that if you set it up in time. and you can get this like item duplication tricks that way too. I don't think I've ever done it this way. Maybe I'll try that sometime. I guess you could probably do it just with a normal enemy, but you'd have to make sure that it drops an item first. So anyway, this is kind of what they were showing in the mid-90s in Japanese magazines about Final Fantasy IV. Alright, now we will continue to the game. Let's go. Apparently the adamant armor is like really bugged or something. I think someone was mentioning that. And you get like permanent debuffs for a bunch of elemental things like fire and ice. I think you're permanently weak to those things afterwards. Like I guess once you take the armor off, you get the permanent debuffs. Darn you, Nomura, you didn't debug well enough. Alright. So we have defeated the Mega Sisters. And we have unequipped Tellah because he's about to go do his thing. So let's go. Can I make it without a fight? Ooh, I did. Okay. So we're in like this 6th floor of the Tower of Zot. Alright, then we see Golbez sitting or standing up at the top, and Kain is to his side. Alright, when I step forward, lots of scenes will begin. I must be prepared mentally. Alright. Alright, the party unfolds. Cecil is at the fore. Golbez walks forward. Golbez says, Gokuro Shokun, ... That means like, good work, gentlemen. In this case, gentleman works. You can't always do that if there's women in the party, but since it's just all guys right now, Shokun could be gentlemen. How does this dictionary say Shokun? Gentlemen, ladies. Just means like all of you. Good work, all of you, but it's kind of like a familiar feeling thing. Alright. That becomes Super NES. I thank you. I mean, that's alright, I guess. J2E does it a little better. Well done, gentlemen. And the naming way has nothing. Golbez has nothing here. What the heck? Okay, so naming way will lose that point. What do we got? J2E has a big ol' text window and alright, nothing too bad yet. Alright. Tellah shouts Golbeza. That means Golbez. Super NES, he shouts Golbez. J2E, Golbeza. And naming way Golbez. Okay. Cecil now shouts, Rosa wa doko da? Where's Rosa? With exclamation question mark. Super NES, where's Rosa? Exclamation question mark. J2E, where's Rosa? Exclamation mark only. Naming way, where's Rosa? Question mark, exclamation mark. So when I say these punctuations out, it's mostly just for like comparison. Like you can see how everyone kind of handles that differently. Even though like the original punctuation is there, everyone sort of handles it differently. Alright. Golbez then says, Kristaru ga saki da. The crystal is first. The crystal comes first. Period. Super NES, the crystal first. Alright. J2E. Crystal comes first. Naming way, the crystal, capital C, comes first. Okay. Let's continue. Cecil then says, Rosa wa buji nandaro na. Rosa had better be alright. Even though there's like a question mark in there, it is like a sort of a question tone if you heard a Japanese speaker say it. But it's sort of like, she better be alright. That's how it's like, how it's delivered. Super NES says, you haven't heard Rosa, have you? Yeah, that's basically what it's saying, but I would have said, Rosa had better, so J2E says a little closer, Rosa had better be safe. Okay, that's pretty okay. And then, naming way, Rosa better not be hurt. Okay, that's good too. This better not, better whatever. Fits that phrasing. Alright. Golbez then continues. Mudon Bujita. Sa cristaro morao. Of course she is safe. Of course she is unharmed. Now, I will receive the crystal. Now I will take the crystal. Okay, Super NES. How do we go? Okay, so in Super NES, Cecil said, "You haven't hurt Rosa, have you?" So Golbez responds, "Of course not. Now, give me the crystal." All right. Oh, J2E, no. J2E went a little too far. Do you think I'd harm my bargaining chip? Okay. Should we make a rule when they start making up this, like, fake characterization stuff? Like, we've been doing -5 for every pop culture reference, but when they start making up this stuff and inserting stuff, that's like fanfic level. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do it how I feel at the time. So as I feel right now, this is like a -2. Alright. Alright. Now give me the crystal. Alright. So then, oh wait, what was it before? It was always that way, the bargaining chip thing. Naming way kind of goes kind of sillier here. You should think higher of me than that, Cecil. Now, the crystal, question mark? No, he's pretty forceful, like, in Japanese, with that morale. I will now receive the crystal. I will now have the crystal. Alright, so this part isn't correct. And I'll say the now the crystal part. I'll say that's fine. Let's continue. Cecil walks forward and stops in front of Golbez and then shouts, "Kore da! This is it," or "Here it is," something like that. Super NES says, "This is it." J2E, "This is it." Naming ways, Cecil says, "Fine." Nope. Okay. Alright. Now there's a narration text. Tsuchi no cristaro o tewatashita, handed over the earth crystal. Super NES handed over the earth crystal of the earth. This is like in contrast to at the beginning of the game when we handed over the water crystal to Bygone, and it just sounded like hand over the crystal. So maybe this was the second draft or something. I don't know. J2E, you gave the crystal of earth to Golbeza. Well, Golbez's name isn't technically in there in Japanese, but it's okay. Right. Naming way, Lost Earth. Period. That's pretty strange. I'm gonna mark that off. We lost Earth, everyone. We'll have to move to Venus. Cecil, on a new text box, shouts, "Rosa o kaise." Return Rosa, or give Rosa back. Alright, Cecil and Super NES, give back Rosa. J2E, return Rosa. Naming way, give back Rosa. Alright, pretty okay. New text box. Golbez says, "Rosa? Nan no koto da?" Rosa, whatever do you mean? Rosa, what are you talking about? Something like that. Super NES, Rosa, what are you talking about? J2E, Rosa? Who's Rosa? Kain, do you know any Rosa? Alright, first this Kain, do you know any Rosa? I'm going to take that point off. I'm taking off an extra line because that's nonsense added in. This who's Rosa? Maybe not necessarily what he's saying there. He's saying, like, what are you referring to? What are you talking about? I don't think he's pretending to not know who Rosa is. But let's just say it's okay. Naming way. Rosa? Whoever are you talking about? Okay, that's probably, I'll say that's fine, since I said the other was fine. And then Cecil says the famous line that everyone will know, "Nani?" That means what? Nani? So we got that Nani, it becomes what in Super NES? J2E becomes what? Naming way becomes what? Sid says, "Hanashi ga chigau zoi." This wasn't the agreement. That's how that feels. Super NES, that becomes, "You cheated us." That's fine, I guess. Make sure there's not any more. J2E, you liar. I mean, I guess. I'm gonna let say J2E is okay on that one. Naming way, you cheated us. Would have liked it better to be more like, this wasn't the agreement, something like that. Hanashi ga chigau. This wasn't what we spoke about or what we agreed upon. Alright, next. Tellah shouts, Doko made mo kitanai yatsu. So you are a dirty person, you're a dirty person to the very end, or something like that. Kitanai is dirty, so a good word maybe is like foul. Let's look on this, see what it says. Kitanai. Dirty, unclean, or filthy. Alright. How does this come out? Foul traitor? That doesn't make sense though. Why would he be a traitor? Also, this definitely must have been edited by like a second draft editor. Foul traitor. It doesn't fit how the first draft feels ever. It is weird to say traitor here. I'll say it's fine. Just because there's like lying or like duplicity involved. Alright. Tellah says in J2E, how dirty can you get? Death is too good for you. Alright, that's not in there. J2E loses that point. Looks like that line was always in there in the old patch. Naming way. Sid says, you cheated us. Tellah says, dirty scum. I like the compactness of it. Like, because they're always fighting for space in naming way. They managed to get that in there. Dirty scum. Alright, I'll say that's pretty good. I won't give it a point, but I'll give it this. Next part. Golbez says, Oi bore ni yo wa nai. I have no business with a senior citizen. I have no business with an old man. Oi bore. I've looked at this before. Dotage, feeble-minded old man, senile old fool, daughter. So let's say, I have no business with a feeble old man. I guess oi bore doesn't necessarily mean man. It could be any gender. Alright. So that comes in Super NES as, I have no business with you, old man. It's pretty good. J2E, I have no business with you, old fool. It's very like offhanded. Like he's in like that Street Fighter 2 movie where he's like, it was just a Tuesday for me. That's the vibe that I'm getting from Golbez. Like he doesn't even really know who this guy is, who Tellah is. Doesn't really care. He's just an old man who's over the hill. I have no business with old men. So I have no business with the old fool and J2E. Golbez, I have no business with you, old man. Looks like it's the same as Super NES. Alright, but all around, I kind of like that line everywhere. Tellah says, Kisama ni nakute mo watashi ni aru. So there's some strong delivery on this one. And it's a very good retort to the insult that Golbez just gave. Even if you don't have business, I do. That's how that kind of goes. And he uses Kisama here, which again is really rude. You never kind of want to ever use that in normal, everyday Japanese unless you want to get stabbed by a Yakuza or something. Alright. So that comes across in Super NES quite well as, I have no business with you, old man. And Tellah responds, but I do. That's quite good. We'll just give it the J2E. But I have some with you. For Anna, triple exclamation. Alright, this for Anna part is not in there, so we'll take that part off of J2E. Was that added in there at some point? It used to say, even if you don't, I do. It used to be better. It used to be better in the old patch. It's kind of weird to see J2E like make improvements with its new patch, but then also make backwards movement with its new patch. I guess that's what happens when you have like a whole bunch of people just like working on it together, like a bunch of people cooking in a kitchen. Alright, naming way. I have no business with you, old man. But I do! Alright. For Anna was always there? Alright. Let's go. Next line. Tellah walks forward, like blasts Cecil aside, he goes flying. And Tellah like pushes Golbez forward. Now he's in Golbez's face. Tellah is now like at maximum rage. Omoishire. Anna no itami o. And now this kind of means, now you will know, now you will learn Anna's pain. It's like kind of like in a command form, so it's like, you will know Anna's pain, or something. Alright, so anyway, the important word in here is itami, pain. It says, I would like that to be conveyed. Super NES goes with, this is for Anna. I guess that's fine, this is pretty good for that. It's a good like localization of that. J2E, I'll return Anna's pain to you. It's a little strange, but it's in there. Naming way, this is for Anna. These are all good, I guess. That Itami, like, it probably took a lot of work for him to think of say it this way. I get the feeling they probably spent a lot of time on this text. Okay. Uh-oh, battle time. I have to do some pausing. Alright, so we're in battle now. It's an auto battle. And Tellah is fighting Golbez. Golbez is very huge. He's taking up a large portion of the screen. He's a Dark Knight looking guy. He's got heavy armor and a big old cape. He's like purple and black looking with some gold on his armor. And he's got this intimidating helmet. And meanwhile, little old Tellah's sprite is over on the other side. Looks all teeny and weak. He has a very minor HP. So what is Tellah gonna possibly do? Tellah doesn't have enough MP to do Meteo. So Tellah's doing a spell. He does Bio. That's my favorite spell. But it only does 89 HP damage. He's doing another spell like without any delay. Faiga, or Fire 3. Like his most powerful fire spell. Only 228 HP. Golbez responds to this. Shosen oibore no omae ni. So, looks like this is going to be a two-part line. I'm going to have to try to remember what it says. I'm going to paste this in the chat so I don't forget. I have to do this. I will now bless the chat with Golbez's sermon. Alright. Shosen oibore no omae ni. And that's kind of like in like an old senile old man like you. Oh man, it's gonna be tough. Yeah, Golbez is in the chat, he invaded. Alright, so Super NES on this part says, no one, Golbez, no one can ever. I don't know. I don't think this is gonna be right. So I'm gonna take a point off on Super NES here, because he's specifically speaking about Tellah, this old, over-the-hill, old fart. But here, in Super NES, no one. Alright. J2E. Your old body does not have. Okay, it used to say after all that. But at least old, your and old is like super important on this line. Naming way says paltry spells. No, he's like mocking not the spells, but Tellah himself. So I took off a point there. Alright, next half. Shosen oibore no omae ni watashi o taosu chikara wa nai hazu. So, let's see. He says, Shosen oibore no omae ni. So it was like, an old senile old man like you should surely not have the ability to defeat me, should not have the power to defeat me. Like, so he's that Hazu in here is like sort of expectation that this old man should not have the power, like because he's just an old feeble old man, right? Okay, Super NES continues with its previous part by saying defeat me ... space ... space ... All that extra space could have been used properly, but they wasted it. I already took off the point from the previous half, so I won't do anymore. J2E. The strength to defeat me. Alright, so that's actually pretty good. Naming way just says a pitiful revenge. No, that's not true at all. So he's belittling or he's underestimating Tellah right now. That's the thing. Based on looks alone, maybe even just his spells, like the efficiency of his spells, effectiveness of his spells. All right. Okay, thanks Midnight Wonko. No one can ever defeat me was wrong. Your old body does not have the strength to defeat me. Okay, that's good. Although, yeah, I guess that's fine. Paltry spells, a pitiful revenge. No. Okay, so my point deductions I feel are correct. Okay, now Tellah is doing his most powerful thunder spell. Will it work? Nope, only 186 HP damage. Now he's doing his most powerful ice spell. Only 230 HP damage. Tellah, at his wit's end, says, Meteo tsukaou toki ga kita ka ... So the time has come to use Meteo ... Super NES. Meteo ... space ... I would have liked more out of the Super NES one. Like, just so the time has come. Or something like that. I don't know. But because there's so much, like, there's so little room. Like, even just putting Tellah's name in there will take up, like, this much of the text. So you barely got any room left. So for Super NES, I'm just going to just say, you tried hard. I understand your problem, so here. I won't mark off points. J2E. It is time to use Meteo. I would have liked so it is time to use Meteo. Like he's come down to his last card to play. Okay. And then we'll turn on this light. Naming way says Meteo, but I guess there's like the icon here. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna take a one off the naming way there. All right. In response, Cecil, who's not in the battle, shouts, Yamedo, sonna koto shitara ... That means stop. If you do such a thing ... So Super NES, that becomes no, don't. I would have liked that to be better, like, no, if you do that, or something like that. But I won't mark off on it. J2E says, don't, if you do that, like I just mentioned. All right, and the naming way, no, don't. I won't mark off on any of these. And Yang, Yang is now shouting to Muchana, sonata no hou ga motanu. So it's reckless. You're the one who won't withstand it. You won't be able to withstand it. Muchana sonata no hou ga motanu. He kind of says it in a non-standard way. Kind of interesting. I would say an older, archaic warrior style, possibly. So it's reckless. Mucha is like absurd, unreasonable, excessive. And then sonata no hou ga motanu. So you're the one who won't withstand it. All right. Super NES. It'll destroy you. So I would have this would work really good if this was emphasized. If this you was emphasized, it would be even better translation, I think. So let's put it in caps. That'd be good. Because he's saying Sonata no Ho. It's like you're the one who won't survive. J2E. You won't survive it. He used to say, don't be a fool. That's good. I'm glad that they changed that. And then naming way, it'll kill you. I'll say it's fine. Alright, Tellah says in Japanese, この命すべてを MP に変えて. So the sentence is not complete, but he's saying, I will convert my life, all of my life into MP. I will change all of my life into MP. Super NES, I'm spending, or Tellah says, I'm spending my, alright, J2E, my life for power. So what's happening? I used to say I will sacrifice my, what's happening is a gameplay mechanic. So Tellah only has 90 MP, and that is not enough to cast Meteo, which costs 99. So he never had the ability to cast Meteo to begin with. So he's doing something new that we never knew about. And apparently you can convert your HP all into MP. And so he's doing that. He's going to use up all of his HP, convert it into MP, so that he'll be able to cast a spell that it normally shouldn't be able to. While we're here, this part actually doesn't make it well into translation in the game for Super NES version. But if you look at the manual, if you were lucky to have the manual back in the day, it does mention right here at the bottom, Tellah's magic has no effect on Golbez. Then Tellah turns his HPs into MPs and performs the magic of Meteo. Even Golbez fell to the force of Meteo. Tellah defeats Golbez. So it explains what's happening in here, even though the game itself cannot, doesn't do it justice, doesn't have the text space to tell you. So the manual is pretty helpful to have. As I recall, the manual takes you pretty far into the game. It's pretty cool. All right, so let me go back to the main screen. Main screen turn on. Move zig. All right, so what's happening here is J2E is making it less clear what's happening with the gameplay mechanics. I'm going to take off a point for now on J2E. If they don't do it right, then I'll, or if they do it right later in the next half of the line, then I'll restore it. Naming way says, I'll give my life. All right, next part. All right, the second half of Tellah's line is Kisama o ... Taosu, double exclamation mark. Life, so Super NES says life to defeat you, all caps. J2E. And I shall defeat you. Okay, so Super NES didn't have the MP thing. So I'm marking that off. J2E, I already marked it off. And naming way, mark that off. Okay. Right now, naming way is at -531 and Super NES is at -530. All right, so finally we're gonna get to see this Meteo we've been hearing so much about. Meteos being cast. A bunch of meteors are coming. 9999. Oh crap. That deserves this. Alright. Golbez, in response to this major damage, says, Bakana, Meteo. ... exclamation. He goes, ugh, impossible. And then pronoun verbed Meteo. And pronoun and verb are left off of the Japanese text just because that's how Japanese works. So it's like, ugh, impossible. You use Meteo? Super NES. That becomes, no way. I guess that's what the bakana part is, but I would have liked it to be stuttering. All right, J2E. It can't be. Meteo. Yeah, so his ugh sound This is the first time we've seen him weakened at all. And I mean, this is the first time kind of seeing him, but we've seen that he's able to be weakened, and he will like verbally say it. Ugh. I would have liked that in Super NES. All of these kind of miss it. I want that ugh in there. I'm gonna take off points for everyone. And the naming way says impossible. This music is great. And then he's getting the boss defeat animation. He's slowly collapsing or disintegrating or something. Alright. So we're back outside of the battle. Kain like fell down backwards. So he's lying down on his back now. Tellah looks over in that direction. Golbez walks forward and pushing Tellah to the side. Tellah falls. Golbez says, Meteo towa. ... Gubu. So to thank you would use Meteo ... Gubu. It's like a, I don't know, just like a pain sound or just like coughing or just whatever, like distress sound. So he's surprised that Meteo was used here. Super NES. You used ... the ... Meteo ... Grrr. I don't think grrr is right here. That makes it sound like he's a bear or a dog. So I'll mark that off there. I don't have a dog sound here, but I have this. That's about right. Alright, J2E. You ... Oh my god, there's a lot of dots in this one. You ... Old ... Bastard ... You ... Use ... Meteo ... Arg. You old bastard should not be in there. Uh-oh. We're being attacked by Golbez's army. J2E, I'm marking off a point here. And we got the ARG in there. You know what? I'm going to restore that UG sound because there's an UG sound here. So all those points I marked off just a minute ago, I've restored those. Alright. Naming way. Meteo ... But how? It's unintentional, but that makes me think of the male models line from Zoolander. Okay, Meteo, but how? That's not it. That's not what he's saying. He's just impressed and surprised. He's not surprised. He's not wondering how. And then the UG sound's missing. I'll take that out. Okay. Cecil then yells, Tellah! And Tellah is conveyed in all three versions. Okay. Now Cecil, Sid, and Yang have come to join everyone. Golbez looks to Cecil and says, Daga ... Kristaru wa itadaita ... However ... I have received the crystal. I have the crystal now. Kikuzo, Kain. Let's withdraw, Kain. That's how that goes. Super NES. So the ... dots indicating his like mental state or physical condition, those are missing in the Super NES here, but I won't mark off. But, I have the crystal. Now come, Kain. It's all here. Hikuzo is like to retreat, to draw back. So specifically, he's like retreating. That retreating with his underling is like a cool like little detail, like just falls out of translation. J2E. However, ... I have the crystal! Exclamation. Let's draw back for now, Kain. For now is added into the new J2E patch. Alright. Naming way says, no matter. The crystal is now in my possession. Come, Kain. So the delivery is weird on naming way. And the details fall out of the translation here. No matter is pretty okay though. Would have like no matter ... And then this exclamation as a ... would have been good. Alright. Golbez looks over toward Kain, who's still lying on the ground. Kain goes ... Because he's unresponsive. Like, it's important to even have unresponsive lines sometimes. So let's see. Super NES is ... J2E has nothing. So J2E, I'll mark that off. In Naming Way is good enough to keep it intact. Good job, Naming Way. You get this. So Golbez then responds, Ima no Meteo de jutsu ga tokita ka! Exclamation. So that Meteo just now must have broken the spell. So he's coming to the realization. Super NES. I guess that Meteo broke my control over him. Okay, good. J2E. Kain ... question mark ... Why did you add all that in there? Alright. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Then he says, so my spell was broken with that Meteo. Alright. Anyway. So, Meteo broke my hold over you. Would have liked that exclamation there. Alright, next part. Ma yoi, kisama wa yozumi da. Well, no matter. You've already served your purpose. That's how that goes. Like, your purpose is over. Super NES. So be it. You no longer serve my purpose. Okay. J2E. Oh well, you were a sorry excuse for a minion anyway. Wow, okay. 1, and then 1 for making up nonsense, 1, 2. Alright, Naming Way. So be it. You no longer serve a purpose. That's fine, I'll say that's fine. That sorry excuse for a minion was in there from the original J2E patch. Next text box. Golbez says, Kono kari wa kanarazu kaesu. I will return this favor without fail. That's how that kind of literally feels. Okay. So it's literally, I will return this favor without fail! Exclamation. Super NES. I will settle this score later, Cecil. I don't know why it's saying Cecil, because it was Tellah who did the Meteo. So for that logical break, I'm going to take off a point on Super NES. J2E has nothing there. Mark off that point. Naming Way. We shall settle the score later, Cecil. Okay, same point. So everyone lost that point. Golbez turns to Cecil and then starts to walk away. Cecil then says, Nogasuka Golbeza, as if I would let you escape, Golbez. Like I would just let you run away, Golbez. Super NES, that just becomes never. I don't even know how that works. So I will return this favor. Okay, so he said, we will settle the score later. Then why would you say never? We will never settle the score? That doesn't even make sense, so I'll mark off that. J2E. You're not going anywhere, Golbeza. Yeah, that's closer to what's being said. But it's closer in the original J2E patch because it used to say, I'm not letting you escape, Golbeza. Yes, that used to be better. It's too bad. Naming Way just says, stop. Alright. Cecil walks forward, Golbez turns back. Golbez goes, Guh. Nameru na. So he makes like this guh sound is like him making like a pain sound, I guess you could say. Just some sort of grunt sound. Guh. And then nameru na means do not underestimate me, or do not belittle me, or do not mock me. Nameru literally means to lick, but it can also mean to like make fun of, to make light of, to put down, to treat with contempt, to belittle, to underestimate. Probably when we did the Funky 4 translation, the Google translation 10 years ago, this might have said, do not lick. I bet if we looked it up, it might probably said do not lick. Alright, so here comes a weird thing that we have seen before. this Super NES, Golbez just says, "Ha!" capital H, capital A. And this is what he said in the Super NES translation back in Fabul, right before he did his lightning bolt. Ha! So I think it's reusing a line here. But it's wrong, I'll mark that off. J2E. On the contrary, I am. Okay, that's not even right. And also, that G sound is missing in Super NES, and it's missing in J2E. J2E used to say, "Watch me." I would have marked that off too. Naming away, again, copying Super NES, just says "ha," and doesn't have the sound, so everyone just kind of like got destroyed on there. Alright, so don't underestimate me. Then he does a bolt zap, sends Cecil flying away. Golbez walks slowly forward to finish off Cecil, but then Golbez says, ... exclamation question mark. It's like, huh? Something like that. And then that's all conveyed in all the different versions, but we can see how they're all slightly different. It's kind of interesting. You got the ... exclamation question mark in Super NES. You have the ... exclamation question mark in J2E. It's only 2 dots there. And ... question mark exclamation mark in Naming Way. Also, another reason I point these out is because these can contribute to what I would call a translator's fingerprints. Just like how, like on forum posts, you can kind of tell when someone is, they have like their own writing style, or their own like forum posting style. And then you might see them like have an alt account, and you might call them out on it there. It's like the fingerprints of the translators, or the editors, I guess. Alright, so Golbez is confused for some reason, and the music has changed. Cecil says, "Gu ... naze ... todome o sasanai ... So he's making his own like grunt sound. Gu. Why don't you finish me off? Why don't you do the final finishing blow? Todome is like the finishing blow, like the killing blow sometimes, or a clincher, and maybe like a wrestling maybe. Why don't you finish me off? Super NES. Ugh, ... why not ... finish me off ... Okay, very good. Ooh, I'm really, you get,
Excellent.
So you get, no, I don't give you a point on that though. J2E, ugh, why? Why don't you finish me off? Alright, that's fine. Naming way, ugh, why not? Finish me off. They added in this question mark exclamation there, but that's fine. Alright, pretty good. I like that they all have the ugh. Like, back when we did the FF6 translation comparisons, like I don't know, 8 years ago, I pointed out that Cyan, or Kain, however you want to pronounce it, his translation in the Super NES would only have him speaking in like thou and like ye olde times, only when it was convenient for the story, and other times he would go back to normal. I'm seeing that same pattern here, where now that it's super important, the ugh is being preserved, but we've seen it being cut out constantly until now. So we're seeing it like now that it's actually important, it's in there. Alright, why don't you finish me off? Golbez says, "Omae wa ... and that means you are ... or just you. So Super NES, you. J2E, your ... question mark. Your naming way goes you ... you are ... Kind of gives an extra sentence in there, but that's fine. In response to this, Cecil just says question mark. In Super NES, it's just question mark. J2E, it's just question mark. And naming way, it's ... question mark. Alright. If you're not familiar with the game, the truth is that Golbez and Cecil are brothers, and Golbez is being brainwashed by the super evil demon guy of the moon. Yeah, it's a weird story. So he's like, that Meteo has kind of like undone his brainwashing very slightly. not only fixed Kain's brainwashing, but Golbez is slightly too. Alright. Question mark. Golbez then continues. Omae wa ittai ... Gu. So he's saying, just who are you? And then he's doing his goos, like grunt, painful sounds. Super NES. Who are you? ... And then those pain sounds go away here. Because for whatever reason, I'm going to take points off in Super NES there. J2E. What the hell are you? ... Question mark. No, the tone on that is pretty wrong. He's barely able to hold it together. Then he says, why? ... Question mark. Okay, that doesn't make sense. And then he says, ag, my head. That my head isn't in there. Was this added in? Yeah, I used to say, oh, even in the old J2E, it looks like they were trying to fill in the blanks, trying to add in a hint about the Brotherhood thing ahead of time by saying, ag, my head. Something like that. Maybe I'm wrong on that part. Alright. The omae wa ittai ... Gu is missing entirely in naming way, so that's 2 lines. Alright. In response, Cecil goes ... Question mark. Okay, ... Question mark is in Super NES. J2E ... Question mark. And then we'll say that this ... Question mark, it was combined with the previous one on naming way. We'll just say it's okay. Golbez finishes this text box by saying kono shobu hitomazu azukeru zo ... Question mark or exclamation. So this fight for now is on hold. We'll put this fight on hold for now, but then like his mental state, his physical condition is also in the middle of it all. Alright. So remember, he's stuttering here, and he's like flustered, so he can't quite do a full exclamation. Super NES, it just says, I shall see you again! Exclamation! Okay, I would have liked this fight is on hold or something like that. J2E. This fight is not over yet. I guess so. Azukeru is a lot better. It's more like to put it on hold or to give in the custody. Or to deposit something for safekeeping for a while. That's fine, I guess. Naming way. We will finish this another time. The delivery on this is pretty weird. I would have liked the stuttering too. Oh well. Alright. Golbez slowly walks away. There are 3 near dead people. Cecil slowly gets back up, walks forward. And Yang and Sid look back at Cecil. Yang shouts, Seshiru dono. And Sid says, Daijoubu ka? That means, Sir Cecil, are you okay? That's how that goes. Super NES, Cecil. So the Sir would have been nice in there, because he's always like a formal, disciplined karate guy. I guess not karate. I'm getting too infected by the Super NES. Cecil, you okay? Says Sid with a capital O and okay for some reason. We'll say that's fine. J2E, Sir Cecil. And Sid says, are you all right? I would have taken that R out. All right. And then naming way, Cecil, are you okay? Exclamation would have been good there. And then Cecil goes, ah. That means like, yeah. Okay. Super NES, yeah. J2E, yeah. And naming way, yeah. So Cecil gets all of the extra flourishes, and Golbez never really got them, it looks like, in these translations. Alright. So Cecil then continues, Sasuga ni Meteo ga kita rashi. And it's kind of like, it definitely looks like Meteo had an effect. Definitely looks like Meteo worked on him. So this becomes, in the Super NES, Golbez must have been weakened by Meteo, period. Again, his like weakness state, his condition is conveyed in these dots in the Japanese, but we don't really see it in the text in the English. But it's fine. Golbez must have been weakened by Meteo. Okay. J2E has nothing for that line. Mark that off on J2E. Naming way. It looks like Meteo really hurt him. Okay, pretty good there. And one last part here. And then Cecil then shouts, after his dots, he comes to the realization, and so now he's very like energetic, like he's very emphatic about this. Soriyori, Tellah. More importantly than that, Tellah. It's kind of how that goes. Never mind me, Tellah. He's like changing the direction of everyone's attention. Soriyori. How does this do that? Apart from that, other than that, leaving that aside, more than that, but, or however. All right. So this is why Super NES says, but Tellah. J2E says, but Tellah. And Naming Way says, but Tellah. Tellah has three buts. Cecil rushes over. So Cecil, Sid, and Yang are surrounding Tellah. Tellah, who we thought might be dead, kind of gets up on his knees, or he's kind of like weakened. He's not lying down anymore, at least. Looks like we're going to have an easy type change here. Tellah says, Taosen Nandaka. Taosen Nandaka. So he's saying it in an unusual way, but like, oh, I wasn't able to beat him. I wasn't able to defeat him. Did this get changed? Yeah. This could be a typo in the original Japanese. It's hard to say. But they changed it in the easy type to say Taosuna Kataka. So it's a lot closer to standard speech. So I wasn't able to defeat him, huh? ... Super NES. I ... failed ... J2E. I couldn't kill him ... Naming Way. Thinking I could best him. This could have been better, but it's fine on Naming Way. Sid responds, Shabichaikan. You shouldn't talk. You mustn't talk. Something like that. Don't. You shouldn't speak. Super NES. Don't speak. J2E. Don't talk. And Naming Way. Don't speak. Tellah says, Koremo ... Nikushimi ni torawarete tatakata mukui kamoshiren ... This too might be mukui. What is that? A good word for that? Like the price I pay was mukui. This might be the retribution or the return or the punishment or whatever that I paid for fighting while absorbed by hatred. Well, like I was so filled with hatred, I fought with so much hatred that this might be what I wrought in return. Kind of how that goes, I guess. This is the price I paid for fighting out of hatred, maybe. Anyway, the word hatred in there, Nikushimi, is interesting. As I recall, this might be what Golbez's HP is. If we could have looked at his HP in the game. I'll talk about that later in a different stream. Nikushimi is hatred, though. I would have liked... Yeah, okay. Super NES. I brought this upon myself, ... because I lost myself in hatred, period. Okay. He's saying maybe in Japanese, technically. J2E. I lost myself in hatred, ... I've paid the ... ultimate price, ... So this is the price for fighting while consumed by hatred, is how it kind of goes in Japanese. But I'll say that's fine. Ultimate price and hatred. Naming Way. I brought this on myself, letting hate consume me so. Alright, we'll say that's fine. Alright, so there might be something coming up. So I gotta be ready. Alright, so he's gonna break my window, as I call it here. So he says, Anna no kataki o, ... Tano, ... exclamation. So he doesn't finish the sentence. He's about to say tanomu, or like tanomuzo, or tanondazo, but he doesn't get to finish his word here in Japanese. So it's an unfinished word. So he's saying, I leave Anna's vengeance in your hands, or I leave you to get revenge for Anna, or something like that. But he doesn't finish the sentence. That's like the important part here. This is super important because of delivery purposes. So Super NES, he says, avenge my daughter for me, comma, please, exclamation. So he actually finishes his sentence here. I'm going to mark that off on Super NES. J2E, please, Cecil. I don't know if he's speaking directly to Cecil here, so I'm going to mark that off on J2E here. Avenge my daughter. I mean, good to say Anna's name. Avenge my daughter, ... and ... me ... So he does finish the sentence, and also he adds and me. That's not in there. So mark off again on J2E. Naming way. Please, avenge Anna. This capital A in avenge is funny, but it's okay. Everything is in there. I would have liked the exclamation at the end there or something. But all in all, that's better than the rest of the teams. Tano. So he doesn't finish the sentence here. And this is what causes everyone else to respond. He falls over. So Tellah immediately falls over again because he didn't finish. He ran out of energy. And now there's sad text or sad music and probably sad text. Cecil shouts, Tellah, Tellah. That means Tellah. Okay, it's everywhere. Yang shouts, exclamation mark. You see exclamation mark, Super NES, J2E, but Yang has no line in naming way. I guess he just doesn't care. So mark off naming way. It was too bad. Alright, next line. Tellah says ... He might be dead or he might just be resting. It's hard to say, but I'm gonna assume he's dead. And that is ... everywhere. So Tellah's non-text made it through. Yang looks down sadly. Sid does a twirl and says, Meo akenkai, kono kuso jiji. Kind of means like, open your damn eyes, you geezer, you old fogey. Pretty strong. Super NES. Open your eyes, old nag. That's a strange phrase to be seen here. Old nag. I wonder how that wound up here. It feels kind of outdated, like an old dictionary, an older person, like, but it's okay. J2E, open your eyes. Come on, you sorry old bastard, don't die on us. Alright. So Meo Akenkai, like literally means to open eyes, but it can also mean to wake up. So open your eyes, open your eyes, open your eyes, all those. This don't die on us was not in the original, so I'm gonna mark that off. Alright, naming way. Open your eyes, you old fuss. That's pretty strange, but okay. Tellah responds with ... Tellah's line here is now removed from J2E for some reason. Yeah, okay. Respect the dead, J2E. Respect the dead. Alright, naming way has the ... To this, Yang says, Tellah dono, ... And that's kind of like Sir Tellah, or something like that. That just becomes Tellah ... in Super NES. Becomes Master Tellah ... Master Tellah ... He's ... This he's ... is not in there, so I'll take that off of J2E. Naming way just says Tellah ... Alright. Sid finishes this text box by saying, Musume-san to ... yasuraka ni kurasun jazo ... So, you better rest in peace with your daughter. You hear? That's kind of how that feels. And he's very polite, calling them Musume-san, her Musume-san. Right. Super NES, kind of those little fun details fall out. Rest in peace, ... with your daughter, ... That's fine. J2E, rest in peace with your daughter. Okay. Naming weight, rest in peace with your daughter. Alright. Uh-oh, Tellah is doing the blinking. He blinked away. There's no one needs to do graveyards in this world. No one needs to be buried in the world of Final Fantasy IV. Everyone just blinks away. Alright. To this, Cecil looks sad, and then he looks back to where Tellah used to exist. And says, Terra, ... Anna no kataki wa, ... Okay, it's going to go into a second line, so I'm going to go to that next line here. Bokura ga utsu. So that means Tellah, Anna's, how could we do this? Tellah, Anna's killer. We will get revenge, or something like, we will take revenge. Tellah, Anna, Tellah. As for Anna's revenge, we will make it happen. And literally, like, there's very strong emphasis on this Bokura, with that ga there. So like, we will avenge. This becomes the Super NES Tellah, ... We will avenge Anna and you. This and you was not in the original. J2E. Tellah, we will avenge Anna, ... And you. So the and you again is not in the original. But it was always there in the J2E patch, so it looks like they might have like copied from the Super NES. We're getting a little more of their tricks. Those early days they were copying from the Super NES script, I guess. Naming way, Tellah ... Golbez will pay. No. It's saying specifically, we're gonna get revenge for Anna. Not just that Golbez will pay. So everyone kind of failed here, sadly. So we can't use Phoenix Downs because Tellah removed himself from our party. That's the joke going on in the chat right now. I like that idea. All right. What I would like to do here is take a quick break to go to the bathroom, and then I'll be back and we'll do this Kain part, and then we'll save Rosa and do that fight. I'll be back in a second. We'll do. What do we got? Okay, back in a second. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Oh, got some candy. I'm gonna use that to charge myself up. Alright, we're back in the Cecil zone. Indeed, what's his head? Tellah, that guy who just died. I forgot his name. He is now out of the party. So now everyone in the party has an average HP over 1,000. Hooray! He was holding us so far back. Alright. Okay. So we could technically go now, but let's talk to Kain here. Kain is still lying on the ground. Apparently his brainwashing had come undone, thanks to Meteo. Alright, we're talking to him now. Cecil says, Kain. And then he says again, Kain. Trying to get him to wake up. Naming way. Just has it say it once. I'm gonna mark that off just because that's a point. Like another line that was missing. What could this have been? In G2E, I guess just a formatting thing. Alright. Alright. So shouting at him has woken him up. And Kain looks down and then he looks back up at us. Kain says, Seshiru, suman, I'm sorry. Ore wa nan toyu koto o, What have I done? That's kind of how that feels. Like, or I've done something terrible. That's how that feels. I've done something terrible. Supernius, Cecil. What have I done? He's not apologizing. In the suman is like a very like it's basically, if you know Japanese, it's sumimasen, but it truncates all the way down to suman. Like, collapses down to that. So he's apologizing. That apology was missing the supernius. Hopefully I didn't just mark it off twice there. J2E. Cecil, I'm sorry. But he doesn't have the part about, like, what have I done? Alright, so J2E misses a point there. Naming way. Cecil, what have I done? So he doesn't apologize in naming way. So everyone's kind of losing a point there. That's too bad. Alright. Cecil then says, Ayatsurarete tanda, shikata nai sa. You were being controlled. You were being manipulated, Then this is where it couldn't be helped, or like it wasn't your fault, or there was nothing that could be done about it. And that sa kind of makes it softer feeling, like it's okay, like it's something more familiar, like he can speak this way with Kain. Alright, supernius. Not your fault, You've been hypnotized. Hypnotized, I don't know. There's a word for that, but we'll say it's fine. Alright, we'll say that's fine. J2E. You were being controlled. What could you do? Alright, that's okay. Naming way. It's not your fault. You were hypnotized. So technically, the word hypnosis appears nowhere in this script. Ayatsuru is to manipulate or to control something. That's all. So hypnosis might have been the method or not. I don't know. There could be other ways, like maybe a special weird bug that you put on someone's ear or something. You know. There's other ways of being controlled than just hypnosis. But everyone says hypnotized and naming way supernius. Right. Next part. You were being controlled. You couldn't help it. Kain says, Shikashi, Ishiki wa atta no da. How, even so, I was conscious. I did have consciousness there. Like, I was aware of what was happening. There is a tendency, I guess, for some translators to translate ishiki as knowledge. I don't think it's going to happen here, but I've seen it happen previously in this game. Ishiki is more like consciousness or your awareness. It's not knowledge. What is a manovignana? What the heck? he's saying I was conscious the whole time, basically. Ore wa Rosa o dot dot dot. And then that leaves that verb unstated here. He's saying I verbed Rosa or something. However, I was conscious the whole time. I was aware. I did keep my consciousness the whole time. I did have awareness the whole time. I verbed Rosa. Alright, super NES. But I retained consciousness. I wanted Rosa to ... So they filled in the verb with wanted her to do something. J2E. But I kept my consciousness. I ... Rosa ... Yeah, this is something, because this is a incomplete sentence without a verb. The fan translation didn't want to like come up with something. I'll say it's fine. Yeah, okay, so naming way gets this the best, but I remember all of it. I wanted Rosa to ... I don't know about this wanted Rosa part, but Ishiki wa atta. It's like he was being controlled, but he was like still able to be aware of everything that his body was doing, I guess. I don't know. All right, let's just say that part's fine. Now he looks sad or down. So Sid, or I don't know, Kain looks downward. Cecil says exclamation mark. And this exclamation mark makes it all the way through all translations. Very good. That deserves... So the mention of Rosa just a moment ago has prompted Cecil to remember Rosa. Rosa wa, that means where is Rosa? So Super NES, where is Rosa? J2E, where's Rosa? And naming way, where's Rosa? Kain looks back up. Kono ue da, jikan ga nai. Up above, there's no time. Super NES, we don't have time. It's above. This was the answer to where is Rosa. So using it above suggests that it's referring still to Rosa, but with an it is weird. We could also argue that he's talking about the thing that is above her, but this kono ue suggests it's just like the next room up. So we're talking about a room and not the object. J2E, she's above. We don't have time. Naming way, in the room above, hurry. It's weird to say above when it looks like it's just a straight room. Like I don't go through a hallway and say I'm going up a hallway. I guess you could say that. I'm going up this hallway. I'm going into this room up here. I guess you could say that. All right, so they're rushing into this other room. They're rushing, and you might not be able to see it. Yeah, okay, I'm taking the sprite layer or the tile layer off, background layer. We can see that blade above Rosa. All right, so there's that blade is about to fall apparently. I don't know how this is triggered. Does Golbez have a trigger on this thing that's gonna fall on her? The whole thing is kind of ridiculous. This last second save. She could just be here, tied up. There's no need for this. But okay. Rosa shouts, Seshiru! And all versions get this right. This is a very rare situation. Hooray. Cecil rushes and saves her just as the blade falls where she was. Cecil and Rosa look at each other. Cecil looks different now. I wonder if she can recognize him. I guess so. Cecil says, Rosa, ... And that is, just means Rosa, and that is in all translations. Okay. Rosa then says, Watashi, anata ga kite kureru to shinjite eta wa. Says, I had faith that you would come for me. I guess this is just a simple grammar. Anata ga kite kureru to shinjite eta wa. You could translate that as like, I knew you would come for me. Like she had no doubts that he would not come. She was certain of it. Right. Super NES. I knew you would come, ... Okay, good. J2E, I knew you would come for me, ... That's good. Naming way, I knew you'd come, ... Very good. J2E, what do we got? Just some formatting. This Tower of Zot. What the heck is this place? Alright, Kain looks down and sad as the two hug in a strange animation we rarely see in this game. Now they're hugging, and Cecil is saying, Kimi ga inaku natte wakatta yo. Says, when I lost you, I understood, ... Or like, while you were gone, I understood. Boku wa kimi o, ... I verb you. And clearly the verb is going to be love, but it's unstated. So, when I lost you, I understood it, that I verb you, that I love you. But the word love never appears in here. So let's see how they all do it, how they all handle this. This is like sort of, you have to dance around the wordplay, or you can just like be on a steamroller and just steamroll through the whole thing, fill in the blanks, saying like, I'm madly in love with you and stuff like that. But we'll see what everyone does. Super NES, your absence taught me, ... I ... Oh no, it's a little less clear. It's so hard to make this work without using the word love in there. Or any word. Let's say it's fine. J2E. Without you, I realized I ... Man, this line is so much better in Japanese compared to these translations here. Your absence, okay, naming way. Your absence taught me ... that I ... So this is better. This a little bit better. All right, next line. Rosa says Seshiru ... All right, that's in all the versions. Let's continue. Kain says ... So remember, this is a love triangle, and Kain is in love with Rosa, but now Cecil and Rosa have like really made their bond clear between each other, and so he's the third man out. He's the third wheel. And so he's having his emotions all compressed into ... as he looks away and down at his feet. Super NES. Kain says ... J2E. Kain says ... In naming way, ... Sid says yare yare o atsui kocha. And it's like saying, oh my, it's getting hot in here. Or like, look at these hot ones. They're getting all hot. Watsui kocha. Does that show up now? Super NES. Oh boy, getting cozy. So yeah, he's commenting on their situation. Oh, J2E. J2E says, oh yeah, getting it on. I'm taking off 3 points for this. This is important scene. Get it on is good if you're doing MXC. And I think maybe at one point the UPN channel, that was maybe their slogan, get it on or something. But not here. This isn't the place for that, J2E. Naming way. Hoo boy, it's getting hot in here. Okay, that's pretty good. I really like that one. I'll give you this. Right, you are, Ken. Alright. I'll just randomly say that sometimes around the house. Right, you are, Ken. Alright, Sid and Yang are now have rejoined Cecil and Rosa. Rosa says Kain as she looks at Kain. Kain is looking away from her. Let's see. The Kain is in all versions. Cecil responds, Shoki ni modotanda. Oh, I need some water. He's returned to his senses, is what that means. ... He's regained his senses. Super NES kind of changes that a bit by saying Golbez's control was broken. I don't like that Golbez is being mentioned there, or in naming way. Mark that off. Cecil says Golbez's control was broken in Super NES. I marked that off. J2E, he's regained his mind. It's a funny way of phrasing that, but yeah, it's fine. And then naming way, he's free of Golbez's control. So I marked that off for mentioning Golbez. Shoki is like, is it on here? Like one's like your true sanity, just sanity, I guess you could say, your true self. So he's back to his senses, he's regained his senses. Alright. Kain now says, while looking away, Yuruste kure, Rosa. Forgive me, Rosa. Ayatsurarete ita bakari janai. I wasn't just being controlled. Ore wa kimi ni soba ni ... ite hoshikatta n da. That means I wanted you to stay by my side. I wanted you to be by my side. And he's explaining the deal. That's what the deal is. The deal is that I wanted you to be by my side. So he's coming clean with his selfishness. Supernius. Does not ask for forgiveness. So Supernius, I'll mark off a point. J2E. Forgive me, Rosa. Should be maybe a comma there. ... My words and deeds were being controlled, but not my thoughts. I knew I wanted to be near you. My words and deeds were being controlled, but not my thoughts. He's explaining like the mechanics of this too much, and I can't trust J2E to come up to do that right. Yeah, I don't like how that was going. He was saying I wasn't just being controlled. I also wanted you by my side. This other part was kind of extraneous. Naming way. Though my mind was not my own, I had a very real desire to keep you for myself, Rosa. So he's not asking for forgiveness. The naming way. Yeah, the phrasing is a little weird, but it's in there. I'll say it's okay. Kain walks further away, and Rosa looks down sadly, then looks up, walks to him again, and then says Kain ... So that's conveyed in all versions. Kain on a new text box says ... That is in all versions. And Cecil says ... That's in all versions. Rosa says, Isho ni tatakaimashou, Kain ... Let's fight together, Kain. Like, let us fight together, Kain. Supernius, let us fight together, Kain. J2E, let's fight together, Kain. Naming way, let's fight together, Kain. Ooh. This whole section is like maybe the best translation across all versions. That deserves... Alright. Kain finally turns around to look at Rosa, look her in the face, like he couldn't look her in the face before. Kain shouts, Sumanai, I'm sorry, or like, I apologize. Yurushite kure, Rosa, Cecil. Like, please forgive me, Rosa, Cecil. Something like that. And then Cecil goes ... Oh no, J2E. Okay, let's look at Supernius first. I am sorry. That is weird delivery. I am sorry. Compared to Sumanai. Forgive me, Rosa, Cecil. And then Cecil goes ... J2E. What have I done? All those things I said. All those things I did. Please forgive me, Rosa, Cecil. And Cecil says ... Alright, so those new lines in J2E, they were made up. Alright. 1, 2, 3, and then I am sorry is not even in there. Okay. Naming way. I'm so sorry. I beg you. Forgive me, Rosa, Cecil. Pretty good. And Cecil goes ... Kain looks down and sad again. Sid does his twirl, He goes, hey, gocha gocha yatoru baija nakaroga. He's like, Erg, you know this isn't the time for this nonsense. Koko wa kikenjazo. It's dangerous to be here. It's dangerous here. Gocha gocha is just like a jumble mess of things. Yeah, just like complaining, jumble mix. Like we don't have time for this messy talk. We gotta get out of here kind of feeling. Alright. Super NES. Come on. We really must hurry. It's too dangerous here. It's like, you know this is no time for jibber jabber. It's dangerous here, is how it goes in Japanese. I would have liked better on Super NES, but that's fine. J2E. Hey guys, could we continue the discussion, say, later? Wait, hey guys, could we continue the discussion later? Say, somewhere safer? It feels like really bad, like, Star Wars writing. For being weird, I'm just gonna take off the point of J2E there. I don't really know. Naming way. Hey, we've no time for this. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. It should be like it's dangerous here. So take that point off. More like Friends. Yeah. I watched way more Star Wars than Friends. I really do not like Friends. Okay, Cecil looks down sadly, walks forward to Kain, and then like encourages him by saying, "Ikuzo Kain, let's go, Kain." It's like showing his forgiveness. Kain asked for forgiveness, and this is Cecil showing it. Let's go, Kain. Like imagine you are dejected, as hard dejected as possible, but then the person comes up to you and says this to you. It's like a real important, strong meaning behind it. This became, let's go, Kain. Let's go, Kain. Let's go, Kain. In all versions. Oh, wow. The crowd goes wild. Kain looks to Cecil and says, Seshiru, ... Alright, that is in Super NES, Cecil, ... J2E, Cecil, ... Naming way, it is missing. So this is like his response to Cecil's like olive branch, or like we're all cool, dude. So he has a response, but not a naming way. Okay, Cecil says, Ryu kishi de aru kimi no chikara ga iru. We need your power, we need your help, because you're a dragoon. We need your help as a dragoon. Or dragon knight, I guess. Tomo ni Golbez to tatakatte kureru na. You'll fight alongside us. You'll fight You'll fight Golbez alongside us, won't you? Alright. Super NES. We need your powers as a dragoon. So that second part about like you'll fight alongside us against Golbez, right? That is missing in the Super NES. J2E. We need your power as a dragon knight. Come after Golbez with us. Oh, that should be a question. Also, they say power, but again, like help would probably be a better word here. We need your help, or your assistance. Power is like one literal way of chikara, but help is a pretty like normal way of translating it too. Alright, so we'll see, that's fine. We'll need your powers as a dragoon, but that part about fighting on Golbez is not in there. Kain then says ... Suman Seshiru ... Rosa ... exclamation. So in this case, probably Suman, just like sumimasen can mean excuse me or I'm sorry, but there are many times when suman and sumimasen and all that can mean thank you as well. And I really believe that in this case, thank you would be a good translation here. Super NES doesn't even translate suman in there. I'll mark that off. So it just says Cecil, Rosa. J2E just says thank you, Rosa. Does not thank Cecil. J2E. And then naming way doesn't do the thinking. Alright, so everyone's just getting battered. Kain looks up to Rosa. Oh, pause it. Alright. Narration text says, Shiro Madoshi Rosa to Ryukishi Kain ga nakama ni natta. So the White Wizard Rosa and the Dragon Knight Kain have become allies, or have joined the party. The best way to translate nakama, the One Piece fan subbers kind of like ran with the idea that this is an untranslatable word, but it literally just means you're a member of the in-group. So in the RPG context, that's a party, so they have joined the party. In One Piece, crew is usually good. It's a good contrast against the word family, which shows up later. Alright. So this becomes White Wizard Rosa and Dragoon Kain joined. J-Tweet. White Magician Rosa and Dragon Knight Kain joined the party. Naming way. White Wizard Rosa and Dragoon Kain joined. Okay. J-Tweet had a change here. What is this? Alright, let's do some equipping. If I have Kain in the back row when he does his jumps, does that weaken his jumps? Let me know. Otherwise, I might need to do some rearrangement here. It shouldn't? He's good? Okay. Ooh, he does have some good stuff. Jump is long range? Great. Hooray. Alright. Let's put some clothes on our girlfriend. Let's take this prisoner outfit off of her. Oh no, for a second she's gonna be naked. Let's give her this priest robe, or whatever robe. That's a pretty big jump. Okay. Give that. So I'm equipping Rosa at the moment, using Tellah's old equipment, his hand-me-downs. And then... So what is better, if I use arrows or if I use this staff? Like, her magic is mostly what I'm going to be using, right? I guess it doesn't matter. I'll just do... Oh, I always forget which hand to put things on. Okay. If I'm doing a bow in my own hand, it'll want to put the bow in my left hand. And then, I don't remember what she's weak against. I don't even know if we're going to need to use anything against her. So I just put some holy arrows on. I think everyone else is okay. I want to do a save state here just in case. Ooh, we're doing crazy good on time somehow. Alright, let's check this little thing here. So I'm checking the blade that almost fell on her. Alright. Here it says, Cecil's looking at the blade, and he is specifically saying, Ato ippo okurete itara kono guillotine ga Rosa o ... So just one more step. If we had been like one step too late, this guillotine would have verbed Rosa. And verb is left unstated. Oh, this changed a lot in the easy type. Oh, it's because, so in the Super NES version, this blade is not a guillotine or whatever. It's a giant, like just a big metal ball, like a wrecking ball. And that appears to have been made, that change also exists in easy type. And that is because the text here says, Ippo okurete itara kono tekkyu ni Rosa wa. If we had been one step too late, Rosa would have been verbed by this iron ball, this metal ball. Yeah, I think the giant ball would make a lot more sense. It's even hard to see what that is. Even now, when we know it's here, this blade is hard to notice. You think of this on a CRT back in the day. Alright. Where did they even get that anyway? Alright. So if we had been one step too late, this guillotine would have verbed Rosa. Super NES. If we were a second late, Rosa would have been crushed. J-Tweet. If we were even a second too late, this guillotine would have chopped Rosa in half. Naming way. Good. We made it in time. Okay, naming way, I'm taking off that point. Alright. Now comes the boss fight. We talked about this yesterday on yesterday's stream. If you missed it, check the intro of yesterday's stream, where this boss's name comes from. We looked at the Divine Comedy and the Inferno. Alright. So we have in Japanese a voice unstated goes ho 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 ho, and it's not Santa. Instead, like for most people, and like if you're a native Japanese speaker, it would be immediately clear that this is a feminine laughter. Ho 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 ho, but it kind of falls out of translation, especially when the Super NES translation just becomes ha 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 ha. J2E ha 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 ha. And naming when it goes ha 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 ha. And throughout this stream series, I've been talking a lot about how laughter is a big part of Japanese entertainment, and different laughs exist and have different connotations. Like if you've played enough Japanese games, listen to enough Japanese anime, you probably know what the ho 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 is probably going to be. A certain type of female character is going to appear in a second. All of that like foreshadowing just falls out of translation there. You could have just left it as ho 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 ho. But for some reason, translators and translation editors will just do generic laughter for any kind of laughter. And all those One Piece characters, they all have so many different laughs. Think how that turned out. All right. Yeah, the female character will probably have like a fan to cover their mouth. I can totally see that. The problem is if we do ho ho ho, if we do 3 ho ho ho's like that, it becomes Santa in our culture. So you gotta be a little careful. Sometimes you can get around it by putting an O in front, like oh ho 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 ho, but it's just case by case. All right. So the unstated voice is now speaking. Golbez sama ni tekizu o owaseru to wa. Omae tachi o mikubite ita yo ne. Feminine speech style here again. Looks like there's an easy type change. Let me take a look at this. They just changed tekizu to kizu. All right. No major change there. So, to think that you managed to wound Master Golbez, he must have underestimated you all, it seems. Exclamation. And then also with the feminine vibe on top of it all. So there's all these little things building together. All right. Super NES. Seems like Master Golbez underestimated your powers. The part that is mentioning that we actually left him wounded is kind of cool. Like this henchman is mentioning that he got wounded. I'll mark that off just because it's kind of a cool detail. Oh no, J2E, no! Alright. J2E, here we go. So, wait, I have to do a women's voice, but I can't. Hey Poe, I need your assistance. I'm gonna get a voice actress in here. All right, I've got Poe coming in. She's gonna do the voice acting. I need you to read the J2E text here.
Okay. In like what kind of voice?
Just like it's a female wind boss.
Wind boss?
Wind, yeah. You'll see. She wears a bikini and stuff.
So you must be pleased with yourselves.
Maybe not that. Maybe not like that.
You rescued the girl, saved the Dragon Knight. Still, you lost the old man, and Lord Golbez left with merely a scratch. And then there's me.
Okay, that's good. Thanks, Poe.
Okay. I don't even know what I was doing.
Thanks to that, she's won the Academy Award. All right. Let's go through this. I don't know how to even... Okay. Was it always like this, do you guys think? Or do you think this was added in the newer patch? If you think this was always this way in the J2E patch, type 1. If you think this was added by the editor for the updated patch, type 2. And if you want to join the fan club of Poe, the voice actress, type 3. And you think it's always in there? All right. Most people saying 1. We got a 3 in there. All right, let's take a look. Oh, it's in there from the beginning. Oh no. It was cursed. All right. So you must be pleased with yourselves. Okay. We're going to do the -3 points for every nonsense line that's been added here. 1, 2, 3. You've rescued the girl, saved the Dragon Knight. 1, 2, 3. Still, you lost the old man and left Golbez, and Lord Golbez was left with merely a scratch. So first, that's just a mistranslation of that part about, like, she's actually impressed that we scratched him. So that's a mistake. Then also this was just nonsense made up. 1, 2, 3. And then there's me. 1, 2, 3. All right. I think we're just starting to get to the beginning of the crazy J2Es. All right. See, when you're married, you have a free voice actor or actress at your call. All right. Next line. Now that Kain is going to recognize who this voice belongs to, Golbez Shiten no Kazi no Barbariccia da. Barbariccia da. Man, I never had to pronounce these words out loud in either English or Japanese before. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Barbariccia. Barbariccia. Okay. What did change in here? Oh yeah, just they fixed the name when the old J2E patch. They weren't aware of the connection to Dante's The Divine Comedy and the Inferno. But by the time the 2001 patch came out, they were aware of that reference. All right. So Kain is now saying it's one of Golbez's 4 heavenly kings, Barbariccia of Wind. And so this became valveless in the Super NES translation, as I discussed yesterday's stream during the intro. They had no idea of the reference at the time, much less how we would have written it in English. So it's valveless of the air. One of Golbez's 4 fiends of elements. Let's see. So technically, we've seen this before, whereas Kaze is wind, and the Super NES likes to go with air. I won't mark off on that. J2E. It's one of Golbez's 4 emperors, Barbariccia of Wind. Naming way. It's Barbariccia, Fiend of the Wind. So it's not saying it's Golbez's. Mark that off. You have to give proper ownership. You have to give proper credit. All right. We have an easy type change here. It looks like J2E is going overboard. We can just tell, like I've mentioned this before. You can kind of see how big this Japanese text is. Look at this scroll bar here. In the Super NES scroll bar, it's about half the size, which about makes sense. Same with naming way. Meanwhile, J2E is quite big scroll bar. All right. So valveless. I'm just going to call her valveless because it's easier for me to pronounce. I don't know how to say these Italian names. It says Kain. That means Kain. Omae mo negaeta yo ne. It seems you've betrayed us too. Sore daki no chikara mochi nagara. Despite having as much power as you have. Despite all the power you have. or despite your strength. Super NES. Kain, you betrayed us. Would have liked that mo in there. That would have been nice to mean two. But it does, that third line is missing in Super NES, so we'll mark that off. Alright, J2E. Kain, you betrayed me. Us. What? 1, 2, 3. After what we gave you? 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. J2E has just hit negative 500. Alright. After what we gave you? Why? We're both creatures of the sky. 1, 2, 3. And then it's missing the part about like you had such power, so I missed that point. Alright. Let's see. Naming way. Kain, you've betrayed us. Okay, that part about the despite the strength that you have. I would have liked the 2 in there also. Okay, next line. Kain responds, Negaeta no te wa naku, shoki ni modotta to ite morao ka, Barbariccia. I did not, like, change sides. I did not betray. Negaeru technically literally means to, like, switch who you're sleeping with. Negaeru. But means to change sides, to double cross or to betray. It literally means to, like, sleep change. Sleep revert, something like that. So I did not betray. Instead, I would like you to say that I returned to my senses. Let us say that I've returned to my senses. Barbariccia. Right. It's kind of clunky. I did not betray, but came to my senses. I'll say that's fine. J2E. Barbariccia. I did not betray anything except my honor. Okay. 2, 3. Oh. Okay. He's... Alright. So the part about I've returned to my senses, that's missing in J2E. Alright. Naming way. Hardly. I only came to my senses. That's pretty good, hardly. It does. I gotta remember that word, hardly. That's a strong word. It does a lot of lifting. All right. Naming way, I'm gonna give a point for that. Hardly. All right. Next part. Okay. So Valvolis says, "Nare nareshiku yobute nai." Do not call me by name, all friendly like. So the part. So he says in Japanese, he calls her by name here. I ask that you, let's say that I return to my senses, Barbariccia. So it says her name there. That is missing in the Super NES version. Alright. Because that's missing there, so there's a reason why it's important. Alright. And he doesn't say it in the name anyway, so that point I just gave is coming back out. Alright, so Valvolis is upset that Kain just called her by her name and without any kind of like name suffixes or anything. So she's saying, do not call me all friendly like all was nare. She is over familiar. Do not pretend to be familiar with me when you call my name. That's how that goes. That line does not exist in Super NES. It does not exist in J2E. And does not exist in naming line. So that line is missing. Okay. So she continues. Konna koto nara omae mo Rosa mo keshite oku beki datta wa ne. So feminine here. So if I had known that this would happen, then we should have like snuffed both you and Rosa out to begin with. Like we should have gotten rid of you and Rosa to begin with. If we had known that this would happen. Okay. Super NES. I should have gotten rid of you. Alright. So it's saying literally you and Rosa. Okay, mark that off on Super NES. J2E, what the hell? Okay, naming way says also I should have killed you earlier. It's missing the Rosa part in there. Alright. J2E, we're going back. To think I prevented Lord Golbez. Oh wait, Poe could be reading this part. Alright, it's not necessary to bring Poe back in for this nonsense. She's too good for this nonsense. Alright. J2E Barbariccia says, to think I prevented Lord Golbez from killing you because of a weak human emotion. The old mage with Meteo is dead. I'll send you all of you to your deaths. How far does that go? Okay. Alright, so that part, let me go back. To think I prevented Lord Golbez from killing you because of a weak human emotion. What in the hell? Where is that coming from? 1, 2, 3. Alright. Okay, we're going back to the Japanese now. Daga, Meteo no tsukaete mo mou imai. But the Meteo user is no more. Kind of like a fancy way of saying it. Kind of like how I just said it. There's just a space in the easy type. Oh no. What is it good for that? Meteo no tsukaete mo imai. But now the old man with the Meteo is gone, says Super NES. Alright. J2E. The old mage with Meteo is dead. Alright. Naming way. But now the old man and his Meteo are gone. Alright. Alright. She continues. Minna sorotta tokoro de nakayoku homurisatte yaro. Now that you're all together, I will basically bury you all. You guys can all be buried by me friendly like. You guys can all be friends as I bury you all. That's kind of how that goes. Okay. That threat to bury us is missing from Super NES. Homuri. To consign to oblivion is how it's in here. But you can also see it means to bury, to inter, to entomb, to consign to oblivion, to shelve. Homuru is a fun word. Okay. But that's missing on Super NES. Take off that point. J2E. I'll send all of you to your deaths. That's a kind of a lame way of saying it, but okay. Naming way. I'll enjoy killing you all. It's more just saying that it's very convenient. It's convenient that everyone's here, so you can all have your friend time as I send you to your burial. I'll enjoy killing you all. Alright, we'll see, that's fine. Kain responds again. He does his laugh that he does. Huh. Kuchu sen wa omae daki no mono janai. Huh. Mid-air combat isn't yours alone. You're not the only one who has ownership of mid-air battles. How that goes. Kain says, without the laugh in there, without the huh. Well, first of all three of them leave that out. It's very indicative of Kain's speaking style in Japanese. That huh. Okay, Super NES. Think you're the only one who can fight in the air? This becomes a question when it's a very strong and forceful statement, but I'll leave it the same. J2E. You're not the only one who can fight in the air. ... A very strange delivery on there. Naming way. You're not the only one who can fight in the air, Barbariccia. Adds the name in there for some reason, I'm not sure why. Alright, and then the mist gathers and we're gonna go to a battle now. Alright, so now we're fighting Barbariccia. And as we learned yesterday, this is a reference from Divine Comedy, specifically a character in the Inferno. And the name like all that stuff is from like 600 years ago. The name kind of means curly beard, and it's a woman here, but she's got really like curly hair, got this little curl in her hair here, very hair themed, and she's very she's not clothed very much. Does she have more clothing in the SS Super NES version, I wonder? All right. You can see she was called Valvalis in Super NES, Barbariccia with only one C in J2E. And it used to be Valvalicia. Yeah, we can see that they didn't originally know of the literary connections. In naming way goes Barbariccia. Alright, let's continue. Okay, so the boss turned into like a whirling tornado. If you look at the sprite, you can kind of see her head poking out of the whirlwind, because her hair is now like generating whirlwind forces or something. On the bad CRTs, and also I played this game a lot on black and white TVs back in the day, and back in the 90s, this always looked like a googly-eyed thing. Like, here's like the pupil here, and kind of like you don't see the pupil here, maybe like right there. If you kind of squint, you can see it better. Looks like a googly-eyed monster. It took me like a long time to see that there's a woman in there. Alright, so as we try to attack her when she is in her tornado form, unknown text, like an unknown speaker says, Damida, Shoumen Karawan Kaze de Mienai. That means it's no good. Due to the wind coming from straight ahead, we cannot see. Or like we can't see her from straight ahead. And that changed to just in easy type, it just becomes Kain Jumpuda. So it was supposed to be a hint all along for Kain to like jump way into the air and then like fall back down into like the eye of the tornado and like stop her wind form. Sort of the idea. Easy type just spells it out. Kain jump. Alright. Super NES says must stop her spin. J2E. The target is blocked by the wind. And used to be can't see where to attack. Okay. Yeah, so the whole point is the wind is making it impossible to see directly where like you can't really see because of the wind. So it's not clear in any of these translations that sight is sort of the deal behind the whole thing. Naming way, we gotta stop her gale. That's a very strange phrasing for that. I'll say it's okay though. All of these we'll just say it's fine. Even the easy type changed it from the original, so all these guys have it. Okay. Alright. So the next line that appears says Jampu de tataku shika nai. The only choice is to strike with a jump, is to hit with a jump. In the easy type, this became Jampu de senpu o fujikomunda. So use a jump to like break her wind, senpu, or like whirlwind. Like fujikomu is to like seal or to entrap something. So just like use a jump to stop the wind, I guess. Super NES, this becomes Kain jump, which fits what we saw previously on the easy type text. J2E, jump in order to attack. And usage to say Kain jump. In naming way says Kain is now speaking. Kain is not speaking in the original text here. Naming way has it say jumping will work, which is kind of a funky way of saying that. Alright, so we can't do, she's gonna do tornado on us. It's not the bad tornado, is it? Oh, it's the bad tornado. She does fingertip, which becomes Ray. Alright, so she does what's called Yubisaki. She just did a Yubisaki attack on us, and that means finger and tip, fingertip. And that starts to turn characters into a stone slowly. That became Ray in Super NES, which is wrong, and it became Ray in naming way, which is wrong. Oh, it's gonna be a little harder for me to play because I have to. What does the stone? Oh, that one. I don't even know if that works. Yeah, okay, it worked. Okay, now I'm having Kain jump. I'm gonna have a tough time here. I don't have time. I should have done her healing stuff properly. Does the protect spell affect the curing amount? Oh, you don't need to heal it right away? Alright. I usually feel the need to. Alright, so we hit her. Oh man. This is gonna be tough. Alright, as long as Cecil is okay, he can cover people. That's nice. I wanna keep Kain as a jumper. Protect the physical defense? Yeah, that's what I'm doing that for. Okay, so it won't mess with the cure. Alright. Tornado, stop doing tornado. Fingertip again on Yang. Alright, man, that Cecil in the back row trick is so good. It's not worth that. Screw it. Attack. Maybe we can get it in there. Nope. Crap. We'll probably play for about another hour. I think we should. I don't know how far we'll get actually. I have the microphone in the way of the screen. It's a little hard for me to play. Oh crap, I definitely need him. Yeah, Yang is about to get stuck. Ooh, Yang's barely live. Okay, we're getting some progress, but it's kind of rough. You're gonna turn? Perfect. Perfect. Come on, Sid. I can't remember if her HP is a lot more in this version, the original Japanese or not. I can't remember. Oh, he's gonna turn stone as he goes into the air. Do a prayer, let's see how that goes. Maybe we'll get something cool. Okay, we're definitely gonna need to get Kain healed up here. Yeah, in the Super NES, the partial petrification is kind of bugged, and so it writes as D as the status ailment. I used to do some articles and things about that specifically. Oh, she's dead. She doesn't have V-Sync on though. She's falling apart. We did it. Thanks, chat. You did a good job. Alright. Golbez was only paying her 5,500 gil to work here. Didn't get any of that, like, life insurance. Alright, now we actually see her sprite. It's a very hair sprite. Oh no, J2E, I see her box over there. Okay, so now Valvulis says in Japanese, Kain, Kisama, kono watashi o taoshite mo, saigo no shiten no ga iru. So, Kain, curse you, or Kain, damn you, something like that. Even if you have defeated me, the final of the four fiends still exists. There's still the final one of us. That's how that goes. So she's like blaming Kain specifically and like calling him a bad word or just being really rude about it. She does not say that. That line is missing in the Super NES. We'll mark that off. Alright, J2E. Kain, it wasn't supposed to end this way. Nope. Okay, it wasn't supposed to end this way. Isn't right? 1, 2, 3. Used to say you bastard, and then they took that out. That would have been better. Alright, okay. Why am I going to J2E right now? Valvulis and Super NES says, you know, the last and mightiest of us four is still left. I can't even speak English. Alright, so that's in there. Even if you defeat me, you're still the last of us. Alright. J2E. The last of the four emperors still lives. But you'll never meet him. No. I'll just mark one off on that one. Alright. Naming way. The Kain line is missing. You may have bested me, but the strongest of the four fiends still remains. Alright. Then she says, Kono zoto no to moro tomo ... kie saru ga ii. So like, may you disappear, may you vanish all along with this Tower of Zot. May you and the Tower of Zot and you all along with it disappear. Something like that. So basically, she's taking out the tower and us with it, is the idea. Super NES. Perish with this tower. That's fine, but it doesn't say the Tower of Zot, but that's okay. J2E. Die along with this tower. Kie Sardu is like to disappear, to vanish, technically. Naming way. Now fall along with this tower. Kind of weird in some of those, but that's okay. She does her blinking away and she vanishes magically. The tower is starting to shake, but that voice from before, oh, 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 or she's laughing again. She did not die after all, maybe. And it's just the same line as before with the ha ha ha's and the ha 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 ha. Cecil looks around, unsure what to do. Now the tower is like making crashing sounds. Cecil shouts, Kuzureru! It's falling apart, or it's collapsing. So there's a Kuzureru, that speaking style that is kind of missing there. The Super NES, it just says, it's collapsing. That's fine. J2E, the tower is falling apart, okay? And in the naming way, it's collapsing, copying from Super NES, it looks like. Kain shouts, Kuso! That means like, damn it, or crap, or shit, or something like that. It could be many things. Except in Super NES it says watch out, which doesn't feel right at all, so I'll take off that point. J2E goes with damn it, DAMNIT. There used to be a space there, or a dash there. Naming when he goes with damn it, DAMMIT. And then Sid goes, yeah, yeah. That's just not even a sound. It's just like a shriek of some sort, yeah. That becomes, wow, in Super NES, which is pretty weird. Wow. What is that? It doesn't make sense to me. It becomes, yeah, in J2E. That feels like it could have been better. I won't mark this one off. Sometimes I'll do kya and mark them off, but kya is pretty weird. I'll leave it. Naming way, he says, whoa. So his shriek became a whoa. He became Joey Lawrence or whatever. Okay, Rosa steps forward and says, Watashi ni tsukamate, so hold on to me. And all the versions say hold on to me. Hell yeah. Cecil steps onto Rosa. Rosa is now the head of the party. She shouts, Telepo, and that's the spell, the exit spell that we know. It's short for teleport. That spell in Super NES is exit, so she says exit. You don't want to accidentally use that word maybe in normal conversation, or you'll get teleported in J2E. Teleport, I guess that's what the spell is called in J2E. In naming way, she's not even given credit. She just says exit. She's the only one on the screen at the moment. I'll say it's fine. And she does her magic, and she's spinning and spinning. Somehow, we're back in Cecil's room, back in the Baron Castle. The Cecil is in the center, and the rest of the party unfolds outward from him. Cecil looks confusedly around, and then says, Koko wa, ... That means this is, or this place is, or it could be the start of where are we? Right, Super NES. Where is it? That's just weird phrasing. Where is it? J2E. This is ... The naming way. Where are we? Alright. Yeah, she just went straight to his bedroom. That's what she did at the beginning of the game. When she came to the tower, she used the spell to come straight to here. It looks like there's going to be an easy type change in here. What do we got? Rosa answers by saying, Baro no anata no heya yo. So your room, it's your room in Baron. Kind of feminine style there. And Super NES, it's your room in Baron. J2E, ... your room in Baron. And naming way, your room in Baron. Right. Sid says, Nisemon no o mo taoshita shi, mo anshin jaro. We've defeated the fake king and all, so it should be, we can rest easy. We can rest easy now. That's kind of what that means. We don't have to worry now that we've beat the fake king. And in the easy type, this Nisemon became Nisemono. It kind of made it just a little clearer what's being said, Nisemono. That means fake. Okay. Super NES. It's safe since the fake king, capital K, is gone. He's kind of emphatic there. J2E. We're safe. The imposter king is dead. Yeah, so naming way gets the feeling really good. Reckon it's safe since the imposter's gone. Or maybe the imposter king is gone would be better. But this reckon kind of feels pretty good with this Jaro. Like he's not certain. He's kind of just saying it probably is. So technically he says it's safe, we're safe. It should be more like we're probably safe. Reckon it's safe. It says naming way. Everyone does the delivery on this pretty strangely. Kain says Seshiru ... That means Cecil. 話しておかねばならぬことが、Cecil, There's something I must speak to you about in advance. There's something I must tell you in advance. Alright, Super NES. Cecil, I have something to tell you. J2E. Cecil. There's something I need to talk to you about. This one's pretty good. In naming way, Cecil, I must tell you something. Period. Naming way is about to do something strange here. I have to paste it in the chat for you guys. Naming way seems to be changing the flow of the scene because there's two new lines here. Cecil says, "What about?" and Kain says, "The crystals." So let's see it. Alright, yeah. I'm gonna take off a point on naming way just for like moving that text. It's like changing the flow of the play. Alright. So the party is now prepped to hear Kain talk. Sid says Nanja. And that means what is it? And then Kain says Kristalu no koto da. It's about the crystals. ... Alright. Super NES. What's that? It's about the crystals. Alright, that's fine. J2E. Needed to take a load off. What is it, Kain? Alright. 1, 2, 3. They added that in. We can see they added that in. That needed to take a load off. What is it, Kain? Kain then says it concerns the crystals. Alright. Then so naming way has Cecil say, "What about?" That's wrong. That was wrong to begin with. It was Sid saying that. Alright. And then the crystals. Alright. Next part. So Cecil now says, Toroya kara karite kita tsuchi no kristalu mo ubawarete shimatta. So the earth crystal that we borrowed from Troya has also been stolen. Has also wound up stolen. ... Alright. So in the Super NES, this becomes the crystal of earth from Troya was taken away. Alright. I would have liked that mo in there, which means also. So the earth crystal was also taken. None of them have that also in there, but it's fine. Okay. So I would have liked it to have mentioned that he's restating his understanding that he's only borrowing it from Troya in Japanese. Yeah, none of these translations mention that it was borrowed. Cecil is very clear to say that it was borrowed from Troya. I will be nice and not mark anything off here. J2E. The crystal from Troya was taken. Alright. Naming way. I know. Oh my god. I know. The earth crystal is in Golbez's hands. He has them all. Okay, let me just read this whole line. Toroya kara karite kita tsuchi no kristalu mo ubawarete shimatta. Kore de yatsu no te ni subete no kristalu ga sorotta koto ni naru. So that means the earth crystal that we borrowed from Troya has also been stolen. That means that now all the crystals have fallen into his hands. It is not saying Golbez specifically, just his hands. Yatsu no te. This means Golbez has gathered all the crystals. I'll just say that the mention of Golbez is fine. It says J2E, which means that he's taken all the crystals. Okay. He is pretty okay. I would say gather rather than taken all of them. He's gathered them all. Not a big deal. Yeah, he's got all of them. That was changed to say taken all. That was a backward step there. Okay, naming way. I know, the earth crystal is in Golbez's hands. He has them all. Alright. Continue. Kain says, yeah, Kristaru wa mada yotsu shika sorotte inai. So very emphatic. He's saying, no, he still only has 4 of them. So I wonder where he gets the other ones. There's some that are like, I guess he technically just gets off screen. Alright, Superneus, that becomes no. There are other crystals. That's not what he's saying. He's just saying that he's only gotten 4 so far. Take all that off of Superneus. J2E. No, he only has 4 of them. That Mada, I would like to be in there. He still only has 4 of them. Alright. Naming way. Not quite. Okay. I'll take out 2 points naming way there. Really like contracting and compacting their text. Alright, Rosa then says, Yotsu de Zenbuja. Isn't 4 all of them? Superneus. I thought there were only 4. It's J2E. So 4 isn't all of them? It's kind of strange phrasing for a final translation there. But it's in there. Naming way. What do you mean? Okay, that's not right. Sid then says, Uwasa ni kita koto ga aru zoi. I've heard rumors of this. Alright. Superneus. Then the rumor is true. Alright. J2E. So the rumor is true? Alright. Naming way. Then the legend's true? There's a legend? Uwasa. Uwasa is just like a rumor. Or like hearsay or gossip. It's not a full-fledged legend, so I'll mark off on naming way there. Alright. Then Rosa says, Masaka. And that means like, you don't mean? That line from Rosa is missing in Superneus? J2E. It can't be. ... Alright. And then Rosa's line is missing in naming way. Kain now says, so, Yami no Kristaru da. Yes, the dark crystals. Yami is darkness. Darkness, the dark. Right. So that becomes in Superneus, right. The dark crystals. J2E, right. The crystals of darkness. Naming way. Yes, I speak of the Dark Crystals, the movie and subsequent series or something. Alright. New text box. Very big text box. Boy, this part's gonna be rough. My butt is starting to hurt here. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna take another quick break here so I can get my butt unnumb, and then I'm gonna, we'll do this scene. Be back in a second. Oh yeah, we're already on it. Okay. should be back, hopefully. Alright. Okay, we have this big old text box to go through. It's gonna be a while. This might be like the rest of the stream. Alright, I have to be very careful not to accidentally scroll ahead. Alright, Sid is explaining the rumors. この世界の4つのクリスタルはいわば表のクリスタル. So the 4 crystals of this world can be said to be the forward-facing crystals. Like remember how there's like on a coin there's the front and the back side of things? We saw some talk about that back in the town of Mist, the village of Mist. There's like a front and a reverse to all things. So these are like the front crystals. They could be described as Iwaba, how would we translate that? So to speak. They are the forward front crystals, so to speak. ... Okay. Super NES. The crystals of this world are those of light and of open side, so to speak. Okay, we can see what they're trying to do. It even has the so to speak in there. It's kind of neat. They added this light part. An open side. Omote is more just like the surface or the face, the front side of something. Alright. It's kind of wonky. I'm just going to mark it off, but it's in there. J2E. There are 4 crystals on the front side of the earth. He's saying like so to speak when it comes to this stuff. Oh, this is a pretty... Alright, there's a lot of text in here. I don't like the J2E one. Alright, naming way. The 4 of this world are crystals of light. So technically there's no light happening. You're still talking about like the front side of things. Right. So then, upon mentioning that there's like a front-facing, a forward-facing crystal, Yang says Ura no kristaru ga. So there are reverse side crystals too. There's a reverse crystal. Blah. Super NES. Then there are the hidden crystals. It's messy. I'm just gonna say it's okay. J2E. So there are crystals on the reverse. Okay, I guess that's fine. Naming way. Looks like it pulls probably from the DS translation. For every light, there's a shadow. So they're using this whole light thing. They're inserting this light idea. The concept of light is not anywhere in here. There's no hikari, no kristaru in here at all, I'm pretty sure. So to make the sound better and clear in English, Super NES brought in the mention of light here. And then, let's see. J2E stays away from that. It doesn't insert the concept of light. In naming way seems to pull from a DS or some other translation, where the light concept becomes the main concept of this section. Right. And for every light, there's a shadow. Right. That's not what's being said here. Maybe in like the DS version, because the DS script is probably different anyway. Alright. Yeah, this part is going to be kind of a mess. I remember this section of the game is kind of weird. And Cecil says, Sono yami no kristaru ka. And those are the dark crystals. That becomes, they are the dark crystals. So he's like surprised and shocked in Japanese, but it seems kind of generic in Super NES, but I'll say it's fine. J2E. The crystals of darkness? ... question mark? His shock isn't in there. That's okay though. Oh, probably shouldn't look at this too much. It's pretty taxing. Naming way. Then the dark crystals are real? You mean those dark crystals? Yeah, okay. So you mean those dark crystals? Alright, we'll just say this all good. Kain says soda. Yes. Then becomes right, and yes in the different versions. だからゴルベザの手に渡ったクリスタルはまだ半分に過ぎん。Which means that the crystals that have fallen into Golbez's hands are only half of them. Are still only half of them. This becomes in Super NES, therefore Golbez has only gathered half of all the crystals. Alright, that's good. J2E. Right. Most importantly, it means that Golbez has only half of the crystals. Would have liked better emphasis on there. Naming way. Yes, therefore Golbez only has half. They're really fighting for that text space. Kind of impressive there. Okay, Sid then says, しかし、闇のクリスタルの噂は聞いたことがあるが、どこにあるかは。So this might break some of the logical connections that some of the translations have been doing here. Sid is saying, however, I have heard rumors of the dark crystals, but I have no idea where they would be, but not of where they are. Some of these translations have already put it together that they must be on the other side of the earth. But Sid is not sure. Alright, Super NES. But the rumors do not say the whereabouts of the dark crystals. Alright, we'll see, that's fine. J2E. So the crystals of darkness aren't a rumor. Here's an obvious question. Where are they? That's not what's being said. But I've heard rumors about the dark crystal, but I have no idea where they are. So 1, 2. We'll do that. He's not asking where are they, he's saying I don't know where they are. Alright, naming way? Uh-oh. That line from Sid is missing in naming way. Mark off the naming way here. Kain then says, だが、ゴルベザは探し当てた. However, Golbez managed to pinpoint them, managed to search for them and pinpoint them. Where is it good? Where is it? Sagashi. To find out, to discover, to detect. So he knows where they are now. Super NES just says Golbez knows. That's fine. J2E. Golbez knows where they are. Would have liked the word but in there. Also in Super NES there could be the word but. Okay, naming way says but he knows where they're hidden. Alright. My naming way is doing some weird stuff here. So Cecil then shouts in Japanese, Isoga nakereba. We have to hurry. Itai doko ni? Just where are they? Where in the world are they? Where exactly are they? Alright. Super NES. We must hurry then. Where is it, Kain? It should be where are they? Alright, J2E. We must hurry. Where are they? Alright. That's fine. For some reason, this naming way says buried in darkness under the earth. That's not in the original text, so I'll mark that off there. Then Cecil says, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening here. Uh-oh. I'm worried that if this text box gets too long and I do my dictionary too long, it'll crash the emulator. Alright, so Cecil's line is wrong there in naming way. Next line. Kain responds, Moji dori no omote to ura. Chite da. So literally, the front and reverse. They're literally the front and reverse. The underground. Chite, chi is like land, and te is like the bottom of something. So chite is like how they translate that as underground in Super NES with a capital U. J2E it's lowercase underground, and Naming Way goes with underworld with a capital U. Chite is a pretty common phrase, like the depths of the earth it says on here. Well, it means like the bottom of the land, but bottom of the earth, something like that. It's a pretty common phrase, I think, in like an Earthbound, the underground continent or whatever. What is that place called? The Lost Continent, Underground Continent. But also in Undertale, the whole underground is Chite. Is this how they translated it, I think? Alright, so Chite. So literally the front and reverse. The underground. This phrasing is weird in Japanese to begin with, so. Literally, Super NES, literally the hidden side of the earth. The underground. We'll say that's fine. J2E. On the opposite side of the face of the earth. Literally the underground. We'll say that's fine. Because this is so, I was just mentioning that this is kind of weird, wonky phrasing in Japanese, especially to bring it into English. We can see that this Naming Way steps around it all by saying, yes, the dark crystals are in the underworld. I'll say it's fine. Alright. Yang, in response, goes, Chite, the underground. Super NES, underground. Yang has no line. Yeah, Yang has no line in J2E. Mark that off. Naming Way. The underworld. Okay, it's in there. The delivery could be better. Alright, Sid says, Ana demo horda na kya. You can. We can't get there unless we dig a hole or something. There's no way to get there without digging a hole or something. Super NES. How? Dig a hole? The logical flow of this feels weird and clunky, like first draft feeling on Super NES, but it's there. J2E expands this out a little bit by saying, how the hell did we get there? Dig a hole or something? That's fine, I'll say that's fine. Naming Way, how will we get there? Dig a hole? He's technically not saying a question in Japanese, but it's fine. Kain then says in Japanese, Tomokaku. Yatsu wa omote to ura. Tsumari, hikari to yami no kristalu o subete soroeta toki, tsukie no michi ga hikareru to itteita. Whatever the case. Oh man, this part's gonna be hard. This is kind of like literary speaking now. So whatever the case, he spoke of the front and the reverse. In short, when all of the crystals, all of the light and dark crystals are gathered, the path to the moon will open. That's what he kept saying. That became in Super NES. Anyway, he said when all the crystals of light and darkness are gathered, the way to the moon opens. So it skipped this omote to ura stuff. It's kind of clunky in English. It's for the best, probably. Alright, we'll say that. Say that's okay. And J2E. I don't know. At any rate, so that I don't know is not in there. At any rate, Golbez said that when the crystals from the front and back of light and darkness are all gathered, the way to the moon would open. Alright, so it actually manages to keep the front and back part intact. It's pretty clunky, but they keep it intact. I'm kind of impressed with that. Good job. I'll just give you that. No points. Naming Way. I don't know. But if he gathers all the crystals, the way to the moon will be opened. I would have liked this to be hearsay, because he's sharing like what Golbez was telling. I would have liked that to be clear. Like he was hearing this from Golbez. Like Golbez kept talking about this stuff. We're getting sort of the intel. He's our reverse spy now. Okay. Cecil then says, Tsukie no michi, the path to the moon. Super NES, way to the moon. J2E, way to the moon. Naming way to the moon. If I say that too many more times, it will become meaningless to me in my head. Kain then says, Yoku wa wakaranga. I don't really understand it much. But, Sono kagi ga kore rashi. That key is apparently this. Omae ni watashite oko. I will give it to you in advance. Alright. So the Super NES says, I guess so. And this is the clue to the secret. So he said. This is the clue to the secret? No, this is the key. That's a mistake on Super NES. J2E. I'm not quite sure what that means, but apparently this item could be useful in our quest. Okay, it should be a key. Naming way. I understand it no more than you, but he said this was the key. Alright, then that last part is, I will give it to you in advance, is how that feels. So, Super NES, you should have it. Okay, that's fine. J2E, here, take it. Okay, say that's fine. Does not exist in naming way. Alright. Maguma no ishi o te ni ireta. So this is, we've already been to Agart. And so we know that this is called the magma stone. The thing is, we're supposed to put it together that magma is the name of the sun under the ground. So there's a little bit of clues if you piece all these clues together, like a crazy person doing those wire boards on the wall, you'd be able to put this together that this means sunstone. In a like based on their own folklore. So the magma stone. Super NES received the magma. I don't know if there's an icon there. There was probably an icon there, right? Maybe a key icon. I don't know. I'll say that's my problem. J2E received the magma stone. Naming way. Received magma key. Okay, man, I need to do that. I've been considering maybe taking tomorrow off to fix a couple things. We'll see. Kind of want to keep going, like tomorrow. Stream-wise, we have about 20 minutes left. Alright. Magma key, magma stone. Alright. Maguma no ishi. So there's a Japanese word for magma. We're using the English word, which gives it a little bit of more exoticness to it. And we kind of lose that when we translate it straight, or like it all flattens out into English when we translate it into English. So Cecil then says, Kore wa? What's this? Super NES leaves out that line. J2E leaves out this line. Naming way says, this stone? Okay, that'll be fine. Kain says, Koitsu wa dokuka de kakageru to chite e no michi ga hirakeru rashi. Supposedly, if you offer this up somewhere, or hoist this up, or hold this up somewhere, the path to the underground will open. So he's like uncertain of it. He's like just kind of saying apparently this is the case, or supposedly this is the case. Alright. Super NES. This kakageru is also the same word that we saw in the Mysidian legend of like hoisting the light in the dark. Like holding it up. Offering it up maybe. Kakageru. Hold it up. Alright, to carry an article. Alright. Super NES. Use this at a certain place to open the way to the underground. So the hearsay is kind of gone. That's fine. Alright. J2E. This stone apparently opens the way to the underground. What? It says, like, the word somewhere is important. Dokukade, somewhere. Take that out because the next line was confusing. Naming way. Use it at the altar to open the path to the underworld. Alright, kind of a lot of mistakes there. So Yang now like does that thing where in Japanese you'll kind of repeat someone. You'll repeat a person's word back at them. So he's repeating the phrase somewhere. So Yang now says somewhere. This repeating we can see in Super NES because Kain says uses at a certain place. And then Yang says certain place. Okay, in J2E, this stone apparently opens the way to the underground, and then for some reason Yang just says where. That where comes out of nowhere. Take off that point. And Naming Way has the altar thing, so he's saying the altar. Rosa says, Ittai doko ni? Like, where exactly? Or just where? So kind of re-emphasizing the where. So Super NES, where? J2E, where would this be? Naming Way, but where? Alright, that's fine. Kain is his wakaran. I don't know. In his like slightly unstandard way. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Okay, all good there. Cecil looks down, Rosa looks at him, Sid looks over, does his twirls. And Sid, doing his chipper, cheerful thing as always, goes, Nani kangai kondoru? What are you lost in thought for? What are you so deep in thought about? Enterprise ga aro. We have the Enterprise, remember? Kono sekai nanza attuyuma ni hitomawari jawai. So, we have the Enterprise, you know? We can, like, it's like a hop, skip, and a jump to anywhere in the world, you know? That's how that goes. Sid in Super NES says, what's to think about? We have the Enterprise to fly around the world in no time. Pretty good. I kind of like it. J2E. J2E. What are you worrying about? We've got the Enterprise. We can go anywhere on the Earth, capital E, in a moment. So this world became the Earth, capital E. Here's a time where I don't like that. I'm gonna take that off in J2E. Naming Way. So let's hop to it. The Enterprise can fly around the world in 80 seconds. What in the world? Is that a reference to anything? 80 seconds? Alright, I don't like that. I'm marking that off. Is around the world in 80 seconds / days a thing? It's a reference? Alright. I'll mark off 2, 3, 4. Alright. So that's an around the world in 80 days reference. So we just took that off. Everyone looks at Sid because the airship should be still docked at the Tower of Zot, right? Right. So Cecil says, "Demo ari wa Zoto no to ni," but isn't that at the Tower of Zot? ... Super NES, but it was left in the Tower of Zot. J2E, but it was left at the Tower of Zot. Naming Way, but we left it at the Tower of Zot. Sid, in response, says, Namerun janai wai. Don't underestimate me, in like his very unique style of speaking. Kind of an old man style too in there. Saishin gata to itaro ga. I told you it's the latest model. Okay, Super NES. Yeah. That part about like don't underestimate me, don't belittle me. Is missing in Super NES. J2E. Always underestimating us old folks. Wait a minute. It says kids today. Always underestimating us old folks. Nope. That kids today thing's not in there. And the old folks thing isn't in there either, technically. Okay. Super NES. Didn't I tell you it's the latest? J2E. I told you it was the latest model. Naming Way. Don't doubt my ingenuity, period. Alright, the part about it being the latest model is missing the Naming Way. let's get to this second part. This next part is Enkaku soju de chanto baro ni modotte oru wa. So it's made its way. It has made its way properly back to Baron using remote control, remote piloting. He's being kind of cocky the way he's talking about it. So in the easy type, they took Enkaku Soju, they changed that which means like remote piloting. It became Jido Soju, which means autopilot. It was backed by autopilot. Super NES. It's back in Baron by remote control. That's fine. J2E. I put a remote controller on it. It's sitting outside of Baron. Alright. Naming way. She's outside Baron thanks to my remote controls. Okay, that's good. Then Yang says, Naraba Kimari desu na. He's being formal, polite-ish. In that case, it's settled. And in that case, it's decided. That becomes Super NES. Good. Mark that off. It's kind of weird. J2E. Then it's decided. Okay. Naming way. It's settled then. Okay, good. Rosa then says, Shido, Tayori ni shiteru wa. In feminine style, and saying, Sid, we really rely on you. Super NES. Sid, we really count on you. J2E. Sid, you're really something. You're really something. Has that loophole where it could mean that, but it could mean other things too. I'll say it's fine. Alright. Naming way. Sid, you're so dependable. You know, like being reliable or dependable is the deal, is what she's saying. Not just that you're really something. Alright. Sid then says, Sojaro? Nah. I am, aren't I? Or like, something like that. He's taking credit in like in a funny way in Japanese. That becomes, you think so? In Super NES? It's not right. J2E, aren't I though? That's good. And the naming way goes, aw shucks. That's fine. Aw shucks, probably okay. So there's a question. Does Rose give off a vibe of viewing Sid as her uncle? I don't really see that right now. Alright. Sid continues. So to kimattara shuppatsu wa asu no asa ja. With that settled, we set out tomorrow morning. Super NES. Let's leave tomorrow morning. Oh, okay. Let me read this whole thing. So to kimattara shuppatsu wa asu no asa ja. Shitei no iriguchi o mezashi hito nemuri ja. So it's time for some sleep on our way to the entrance before we make our way to the entrance to the underworld. Hito nemuri. Like we need like some sleep or a nap. Alright. Super NES. Let's leave tomorrow morning to search for the entrance to the underground. So he's not talking about how we all need to get some rest now, but we can say it's implied in there. J2E. We'll leave tomorrow morning. Can't search for entrances to underworlds without a good night's sleep. Kind of actually like how this turned out. It's pretty good. We'll give it just a sound. Alright, naming way. Let's head out first thing to look for the entrance to the underworld. I'll say that's fine too. He does his twirl. Sid looks down sadly. Shikashi, ... Naze ano toki, Golbeza wa boku ni todome o sasanakatta no daro. ... Still, ... Why didn't Golbez finish me off back then? ... And we have a space in there. We got a space in there. In the easy type. Super NES. But, ... Why didn't Golbez just finish me off then? Okay, that's fine. J2E. But, why didn't Golbez kill me back there? Who is he? who is he should not be there. And then it used to say, but why didn't Golbez finish me off back there? Finish off is better than kill. Like he didn't do the finishing blow. Naming way. But why didn't Golbez just finish me off? Alright. Rosa says, Dostano? Like, what's the matter? What's wrong? Supernia says, Cecil? I'll say that's fine, actually. Tone-wise, that feels pretty good. J2E, what's wrong? And naming way, Cecil? Sid looks, and Cecil turns. And Cecil just says, yeah, nandemo nai. No, never mind. Yasumo, let's rest. Supernias, no, it's nothing. Let's take a rest. J2E, no, it's nothing. Let's go to bed. Naming way, no, it's nothing. Let's rest. Let's go to bed makes it sound like an invitation to go to his bed. Right. The scene fades out. We were all in Cecil's bed all along, everyone. We were all in there together. Okay, they do have new dialogue, and so does Edward. Okay, if I get there in 10 minutes, that's worth it. Okay, so Misidia Elder maybe, Rosa's mother, possibly Edward, and maybe the Troyan clerics. Alright. Oh no, it's getting that late where my flux on my computer has turned on, so everything is getting like sepia toned on my side. I don't think it works on your guys' side. Okay, that's still the same. Let's go talk to Rosa's mother real quick. Alright. Going to Rosa's mom. We'll get Rosa in the front of the party. Okay, yep, got some new text. Quite a bit of text, actually. So, we're talking to Rosa's mom. Rosa's mom says, Rosa, Fujitata no ne? Rosa, you're alright. Oh, after all. I know how that feels. Supernias. Rosa, are you alright? Oh no. That's not what's being said. J2E. Rosa, you're safe. Okay. The naming way calls her Joanna. Mark that off. Rosa, you're alright. Rosa then says gomen nasai. I'm sorry. So just I'm sorry. This becomes, yes, I'm sorry for running away. I'll say that's fine. I'll say it's fine. J2E, I'm sorry. Naming way. I'm so sorry. No, that's like the delivery on that is pretty weird, so I'm going to make that off on Super NES too. Very picky right now. Rosa's mom continues. Mo doku ni mo icha ikenai yo. You can't go anywhere anymore. You can't ever go anywhere ever again. Okay. And Super NES, never do it again, okay? That is weird, but okay. J2E. Oh no, J2E looks like it's really big and scary. Oh no. Alright, I'm sorry. You should be roaring your old mother like that, it says. Mark that off. Naming way. You're not to leave here again. Alright, that's kind of okay. It's maybe it's stronger than the rest. But it's pretty strong, saying like you can never, it'd be bad for you to ever go anywhere ever again. Omae o shiro madoshi nanka ni subeki janakatta nda. I never said I'll let you be a white wizard after all. Supernius, I shouldn't have let you be a white wizard. Okay, so here's the J2E. You're staying right here. That's where that mo doku ni mo ichai ikenai is. So this original line, you shouldn't be wearing your old mother, I already took off the point for that. J2E, I shouldn't have let you become a white magician at all. Alright. The naming way, you're not to leave here again. I never should have let you become a white wizard. Rosa says, Chigao wa okasa-san. It's not like you think, Mom. It's not like that, Mom. So that J2E, so that part in Supernius is missing. J2E, no, Mom, is what that becomes. And that becomes the naming way. You're wrong, Mother. Alright. Watashi wa yokata to omou wa. I think it was for the best. Alright, that's missing in Supernius. It was good that I did. Okay, that's fine. J2E. Alright, the naming way is missing that line. Alright, then we got Senshi no Seshiru no Chikara ni nareru Shiro Madoshi de. I'm glad to be a white wizard that can be of help to Cecil the warrior, or Cecil the fighter. Alright, so she's standing up for herself and bringing Cecil into it. That's missing in Supernius. So taking off that point. J2E. It was good that I did. Cecil's a fighter, so I can provide him support. It's a little weird, but I'll say it's fine. Naming way. As a white wizard, I can help Cecil. Alright. Okay, yeah, we'll say that's fine. The word fighter should be in there. It's not in there in naming way, but I'm going to say it's fine because about what's about to happen. Okasan datte, mukashi wa otou-san to tomo ni tatakatta shiro madoshi janai. I mean, after all, Mom, you once fought alongside Dad as a white wizard. That's how that goes. Supernius condensed that down, but you did the same for Father. And that's her argument in the Supernius version. J2E. And you fought alongside Dad as a white magician long ago. Naming way. As a white wizard, I can help Cecil, just like you did with Father. Alright. Then Rosa's mom says, Rosa, ... You have the Rosa, ... in Supernius. ... Rosa, ... in J2E. And it became, oh, Rosa, ... I kind of like that O in there, actually. Oof, okay. She's saying Rosa ... So ne, that means like you're right. ... Shinda ano hito mo rippa na naito datta. So here I talked about this a couple days ago. Ano hito, especially in Japanese entertainment, and especially if it's coming from a wife. Ano hito means husband. Does it show up on here? Ano hito, he, she, that person. Yeah, but it kind of means like that person in the sense of husband. And it can also be used to mean like Mr. Right, as we have in English, like when someone is the one, Mr. Right sometimes. So you're right, my late husband was a superb knight, was a splendid knight. Alright, Supernius, Rosa, that's right, ... He was a well-known knight. So the fact that he's dead is missing. Literally, like the word Shinda is in there, the past tense of die. They won't put that in there, but the was kind of settles it. That is probably he's not alive anymore. None of the translations mention that specifically that he's dead, but he's dead. If you want to know, he's dead. J2E. Rosa, your father was a great night. Her agreement. Oh, she says, I understand. Okay. I understand. Alright. Naming way? Oh, Rosa, you're right, as always. And what a fine dragoon he was, your father. What? It says he was a knight. Like Naito. It's like knight. And it's one of the classes in Final Fantasy. So that's wrong. Then she says to Cecil, Seshiru, kono ko o onegai ne. So Cecil, take care of her, okay? She doesn't speak to Cecil in Super NES, but instead just says, be sure to take care of yourself. J2E, Cecil, please take care of her. Alright. Naming way, Cecil, please take good care of her. Yeah, naming way added Dragoon, I think. Alright. That was quite a bit of stuff. I want to end pretty soon. I don't think we're going to get to the clerics, but I want to check the Mysidia Elder. Alright, we're going to look at the Elder, see what's going on. We've got none of the crystals. Oh, I need to buy high potions at some point. Alright. Yeah, so Tellah just died. He sacrificed himself. So we're talking to the Elder of Mysidia. The Elder of Mysidia says, Terra Mademo. Even Tellah? Or not Tellah too? It becomes Tellah also in Super NES? J2E. Tellah too? Like, he's shocked by this. And naming way says Tellah as well, ... I would have liked better delivery on that. There's an easy type change on here, but it's just a formatting change more than anything. Right. Are hodo nikushimi de tatakao na to ite otta no ni. Even after I told him so many times not to fight with hatred, ... So he had warned him. Super NES. I told him not to fight for hatred alone. A little clunky, but it's in there. J2E. I warned him not to fight with hatred like that. Right. Naming way. I warned him not to fight with hate. Like, he warned him a lot. Arehodo. Okay. And there's one more line. Bakamono ga, that fool. Alright. The line, that insult, is not in Super NES. J2E, it's in there. The fool. In naming way, it's missing. Well, yeah, there's high potions right here in Mysidia. Let's go get those high potions. Some weird knocking outside. What's going on? Golbez trying to get in? Okay, let's get these while we're here. We need like, I'll buy 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. And then I'll need to stack it over here. Oh, I have a lot of stuff to like get rid of. It'll be fun to get rid of all that stuff finally. Alright. While we're here, what does she have any new spells? Oh, I've already looked at all the spells, haven't I? Alright, is there any more text besides... I guess we could look at Edward. Let's go look at Edward. We'll check out Edward. But we won't do the priestesses yet. Also, we need to actually look in the observatory, in the telescope. I still have not done that. I can't believe it. I'm a telescopic failure. This part is a mini game, trying to land over here. Alright, and we're gonna go in here. Let's check out. let's be Rosa. We've saved Rosa. Someone was pointing out on YouTube that I guess a Let's Play was at one point noticed a lot of Rosa's text is just like her saying Cecil ... or Cecil punctuation in this game. Alright, we're talking to Edward. Tellah-san ga Mr. Tellah did? Nande ... Why? Boku no mawari no hito wa minna ... All the people around me, they ... So the idea is that all the people around me, they all die. But the word die is implied, there's no verb. Alright, Super NES. Tellah too? How come the people who I love always leave me? That's kind of a cool way of getting around stuff, but I like it. J2E. Tellah is dead? Why? Why does everyone I love die? Technically the word love is not in here, just the people around me. All the people around me, they always do this. I'll just say it's okay though. Tellah too? Says Naming Way. Why does everyone I love die? And because like, could also be talking about Rydia and Rydia getting lost. We don't know that she's dead technically, but I don't know. Same thing also could apply to Yang, although Yang didn't die. So basically, anytime Edward's around, disaster strikes is the idea. What does J2E say here? Alright. I'll find them. Yeah, it's not in the original. The word love is not in the original. It's just Mawari no Hito. The people around. It's the love just infects text. So Midnight Wanko, would I want some resources? Like what kind? Technical intel? I have so many like docs on documents on my computers. Oh my god, I didn't save for 3 hours? 2 hours? Alright. Yeah, just share anything you'd like. Yeah, I think Mawari they're using as loved ones. Mawari no Hito. Which works. The people around me. Those would probably be the loved ones, but... Yeah, so what I want to do actually, what I might do tomorrow, I might not stream. Yeah, okay, here's where I won't stream tomorrow. And I finally want to program the things in. So when we're looking at an enemy, I'll have the stats here. I used to do that on my old sidebars like 10, 15 years ago. I'd play like or like just ROM hacks of FF4 and look at the stats on everything. That stuff is super easy for me. I can just use code I've already programmed to come up with the stats, and I'll have that pop up here. And then it'll be a lot easier for me to do things. Yeah, so we're not gonna I'm not gonna stream this tomorrow. Instead, tomorrow I'm gonna use some time for programming. And that way I can fix some of my own like missing icons in the main script as well. Okay, but we'll be back on Monday. So that's like 4 days. Oh man, that's a long time. I don't know. Maybe people can catch up with this with the VODs. Okay, so what we'll do is on Monday, I might stream something on the weekend, but not FF4. I might like to like stream something different if you guys want to check that out. Maybe I'll do Ninja Gaiden or a Zelda stream or something. So on Monday we'll do the we'll go into the underground and we'll do the castle. We'll meet Golbez. He'll steal the crystal. We'll do the trick where we can get the crystal again anyway. And we'll also go and look at the developer room. And there's just a lot to do. So we'll do that on Monday. And maybe we'll go to the Tower of Babel. I'm not sure, but that's the plan. Alright. Currently, the Super NES score is at -571. J2E, after all the weirdness of today, is at -537. And Naming Way is at -585. Naming Way took the biggest beating today, I think. I think mostly just cut lines again. That's just how it is with Naming Way. Naming Way just fighting for that text. Yep, so that's it. See you guys on Monday. Let me do a save state just in case. And please check out the VODs on Twitch or on YouTube. I'll post this in an hour or so. See you guys in a few days. Goodbye.